Speed talent. Medium strength talent. Moreover, after the ferocious beast dies and turns into a puppet, its combat power is naturally not as strong as when it was alive. It cannot use any combat skills at all and relies purely on instinct to fight. It may also be that the IQ of this demonic pattern Ghost Vine guy is too low, and he is unable to perform the 1000 machine transformation, so he just swarmed over all at once. It's a good time to try out my puppetry skills. Control. Ye Chen ducked to avoid the attack of a ferocious beast, swung his sword and directly cut off the vines behind the guy, and then instantly connected to the other party with a spiritual thread that was invisible to the naked eye. This feeling is like holding a game controller. Then, roar. The corpse of the ferocious beast controlled by Ye Chen's puppetry roared, bit the ferocious beast that attacked Ye Chen from behind, and directly bit off the other's neck. As the rebellious puppet beasts appeared in the team, the demonic pattern Ghost Vine roared continuously because it found that it was gradually losing control over these corpses. Every time the opponent attacked, he would directly cut off his own vines and then seize control of these corpses. With his double elementary speed talent, Ye Chen avoided most of its attacks. Even if some attacks landed on him, they were blocked by his rock-like defense, and the damage caused was very limited. And as the battle continued, the number of puppet beasts in Ye Chen's camp continued to increase. 10 minutes later. Roar, roar, roar. The demonic Ghost Vine in the shadow space roared angrily. At this moment, it was like a lion being besieged by a group of hyenas. Those puppet corpses originally belonged to him, but at this moment they had all been snatched away by Ye Chen. And it is also possible to carry out different attacks from various angles with simple coordination. When I first played Real 3, I was operating on 3 lines. Now, there are only a dozen more, and I can barely control them. Ye Chen, the man behind the scenes, even kept his distance, his eyes excited and his brain aching slightly. Puppetry consumes a lot of mental energy, especially under multi-line control. But now it's almost there. After fighting for another 5 minutes, the furious demonic Ghost Vine finally smashed all the puppet corpses into pieces, making it impossible to control them anymore, but it was also covered in wounds. Roar! It roared and screamed angrily, its ferocious eyes open and filled with hatred and rage. But it soon became confused because it could no longer find Ye Chen. Here! Ye Chen's voice suddenly sounded from mid-air. The sword in his hand was burning with blazing flames, as if it was a hot iron sword that had just been forged from a steel blast furnace. Fire multiple shadow blades. Fire mist blade. Cut. Boom. The hot air waves rolled up, and like a flaming blade from the sky, it pierced into the body of the demonic pattern Ghost Vine from top to bottom. Then split it in half from beginning to end. Ding! Congratulations on reaching 100% status on the Tier 2 Special Beast, Demonic Pattern Ghost Vine Shadow. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the Chi and Health 2.1 card. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the low-level Telekinesis talent. Ding! You've opened a new attribute panel. Congratulations on obtaining the Special Profession, the Spiritualist Attribute panel. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the combat skill, Telekinetic Stab. Ding! Parasitic infection drops cannot be fused and will be automatically eliminated. A series of system prompts sounded in my mind. The dead demonic Ghost Vine in the shadow space exploded. Ye Chen clearly felt a stream of heat flowing into his body, it was the feeling of his chi and blood growing rapidly. The total time spent on clearing the demonic pattern Ghost Vine did not exceed 40 minutes. Especially when he finally obtained the low-level telekinesis talent, Ye Chen felt his head burning and painful as if it was about to burst. But this painful feeling came and went quickly, and soon turned into an unprecedented refreshing feeling. Then an indescribable special feeling emerged. He opened his eyes. She suddenly saw Lu Yuan looking at this place with great nervousness and worry, and her pretty face turned red instantly when she looked into her open eyes. However, Ye Chen was surprised to find that as his thoughts moved slightly, a piece of broken wood in the tree hole behind Lu Yuan automatically floated up. It can actually perform mind control. Is this a spiritualist? Ye Chen was extremely surprised. If warriors are considered the upper-class profession of human beings, then once you become a warrior, it is equivalent to stepping into the elite society. Perhaps only 1 out of 100 ordinary people has the talent to practice and step into the ranks of formal warriors. But the spiritual master, only 1 out of 10,000 warriors will appear. It is so rare that it is not an exaggeration to call it a noble profession. Any spiritualist is a favorite of the Martial Arts Association, and is also the target of countless dark forces that will fight for it by any means necessary. Because the spiritual master is too strong, he is absolutely invincible in the same realm. For example, even now, Ye Chen has just obtained the talent of telekinesis and awakened the dual professional attributes of a psychic, but he can control some tiny fragments to carry out attacks within a certain range. This has not been tried specifically, so the specific effect cannot be determined. But this is definitely something that a regular warrior, even an elite warrior, cannot do. Control objects with telekinesis. What if this fragment was replaced with a poisoned steel needle? Or something else? It would be impossible to defend against it. Moreover, the psychic can also directly perform mental thrust attacks. The attacked target will fall into a brief state of loss of control and severe pain, which is absolutely fatal in combat. The problem is that things like spirit are very difficult to cultivate after birth, unless it is promoted to a more amazing martial arts realm, but that is also a super late stage. So, the profession of psychic is almost a natural leader and a darling. Ye Chen didn't expect that this demonic pattern ghost vine could actually give him such a surprise. But he suddenly realized. He had heard about the sky-high price of this magic plant in the black market before. Rumor has it that the core of this magic plant can provide special materials that can enhance the spirit, so it is fought over. It is a treasure that countless spiritualists dream of. In order to win over spiritual masters, many top forces have launched various astonishingly high-priced auctions. I didn't expect that this would be such a good deal for me. Low-level telekinesis talent. Presumably, there are other ferocious beasts in this world that also possess the gift of telekinesis, and there are also true spiritualists. Having this low-level telekinesis talent means that he has obtained a ticket to enter the circle of spiritualists, once he has entered this circle. He. All of you psychics are geniuses, and your talents are all mine. Ye Chen couldn't help but feel a little excited. Now his attribute panel is completely new. Host, Ye Chen. Qi and blood, 35.4 calories. Reputation, newcomer, 187/1000. Unique, shadow extraction LV2, 1/2 remaining slots. Cultivation talent, super 3.1%. Elemental talents, medium fire element, medium water element, medium gold element sharp gold, double primary earth element rock. Speed talent, double elementary. Strength talent, medium. Boxing talent, medium. Knife skill talent, medium. Puppet talent, medium. Shadow talent, elementary. Healing talent, elementary. Disguise talent, elementary. Devouring talent, elementary. Telekinesis talent, elementary. Occupation, first level spiritualist. Telekinesis, 1.4 Hz. Skill, mental stab. Technique, level 1, 18 body tempering techniques, perfect, level 2, rock body tempering technique, minor success ++. Combat skills, first level ultimate collapse fist, great mastery plus, first level phantom step, great mastery, first level multiple shadow blade, minor mastery, first level mist blade, minor mastery, first level flame fist, proficient, first level punch, proficient, first level sky breaking sword, beginner, first level throat cutting, minor mastery, second level formation breaking spear, proficient, ancient breathing technique, proficient, first level bowl trampling, proficient. Precision shooting, second level puppetry. Absolutely gorgeous properties panel. Who would believe, this is a panel a high school student could have. Level 3 official warrior. His real combat power is comparable to that of an elite warrior. Yeah, Ye Chen, are you feeling better? Lu Yuan's worried voice woke Ye Chen up. This beautiful and talented student from Nanshan No. 1 Middle School was looking at him with a blushing face. At that moment, Lu Yuan was swept by Ye Chen's gaze, and she actually felt a sense of awe. This feeling has only been felt by the school principal. It is caused by the huge gap in strength between the two sides. But before, I also thought that the difference in strength between the two sides was huge, and I was even used to it. But now, why do I find it even more awe-inspiring? Could it be that Ye Chen suddenly became stronger again? It's okay, you stay here, I'll go take care of some things. He suddenly felt something warm in his stomach, like a burning furnace. Elementary devouring talent. Soon he felt his strength restored after digesting the Bingliang pills. Normally, ordinary breath containment technique. Ye Chen was very surprised. The ancient breath concealing technique is different from other ordinary combat skills. This thing was obtained by He Guangzheng completely by chance, and it can conceal his qi and blood information to the greatest extent. Even the ordinary instruments of the Martial Arts Association can be deceived, so as to better play the pig and eat the tiger. So, even registered with the association, and various test situations, He Guangzheng is an absolutely genuine third-level official warrior. But in fact, this guy is actually level 5, which means he is a high-level formal warrior. If you look at him based on his level 3 strength, he will definitely be beaten to pieces by the opponent. Not to mention, in order to match the special ancient breath-concealing technique he accidentally obtained, the old silver coin He Guangzheng even spent a lot of energy to practice the assassination technique of cutting the throat. On the surface, this guy is a warrior who uses a gun, but in fact, he is specialized in daggers. Tisk tisk tisk. What a pity. Everything you have is mine, old silver. You even gave me a malicious mark. It seems that even if I don't deal with you, you will definitely find a chance to target me during this mission? Is it just because of your good-for-nothing brother? It's really the reality of the world. Ye Chen sneered in his heart. The bus drove out of the South City and became noticeably bumpier. The entire city is surrounded by a towering wall. In fact, in this era, both large cities and small cities like this have built high walls. The purpose is to defend against the ferocious beasts that may invade at any time. It turned out that flying beasts like the iron-winged demon eagle were difficult to guard against, otherwise they would not have suddenly invaded the city that time. The outside was extremely desolate, and even some dead bodies and bones could be seen on the roadside, which was chilling. You're awake. We're out of town, and according to the map it's probably another hour's drive. Do we need to make arrangements now? When Lu Yuan saw Ye Chen wake up, he hurried forward to ask. But the moment the other party opened his eyes, she had the illusion as if she was facing a ferocious beast. In just a moment, an astonishing aura of energy and blood burst out, and the ferocious beast lurking in the darkness opened its eyes, which was creepy. But this feeling comes and goes quickly. But it still frightened Lu Yuan. She now even has some doubts about whether her initial judgment of Ye Chen was correct. Because she previously thought that Ye Chen was taking drugs, but now, deep down in her heart, she increasingly disbelieved her own inference. She had a vague intuition that Ye Chen was very strong. Although he is about the same age as me, his strength is definitely far superior to mine. She couldn't explain the reason, it was purely a woman's sixth sense. Oh? Arrangements? You arrange it, I'll take a look. Ye Chen glanced inside the carriage and saw that there were a total of 21 people in it, all of them were reserve warriors. The one with the best talent for cultivation is naturally Lu Yuan, who is average, and the others are all low. Well. Now I am still 5% short. There is no way. Everyone, I'm the captain of Team 2, Ye Chen, a level 1 official warrior. Let's get to know each other. Ye Chen stood up and shook hands with the person next to him. The latter was flattered and smiled and nodded repeatedly. Since we will all be a team in the future, and he is the captain of the second team, he is naturally the strongest. If we build a good relationship with him now, maybe he can help us if something unexpected happens during the mission. But what was surprising was that Ye Chen would shake hands with everyone and talk to everyone with a smile. He can even remember everyone's name easily. Actually, he can see it by looking at the panel above other people's heads, which makes everyone feel good about him. And Ye Chen. Ding. Successfully extracted Zheng Swibing's shadow. Ding. Congratulations on successfully clearing Shadow Zheng Swibing 100%, dropping low-level cultivation talent, body tempering style, proficient. Ding. Successfully extracted Cheng's shadow. Bite. Dealing with these reserve warriors is a piece of cake. Just by talking to the other party, you can easily overwhelm the other party. The battle ends in less than 30 seconds. But I'm really tired. I went there. Elementary talents can only improve a few tenths of a % of advanced talents, and the higher the level, the more difficult it is to improve. But this people-friendly captain still took the trouble to communicate with everyone. Captain Ye Chen is so considerate, he even went out of his way to ask about my situation. Yeah, me too. I've been on several missions, but this Captain Ye is so approachable. What a young official warrior. He'll probably become a big shot in the future. I hope Captain Ye can help me on this mission. The favorability of everyone in the car has increased significantly. Ding. Reputation +3. Ding. Reputation +2. Ding. Reputation plus. Well? His reputation actually improved? Ye Chen was a little surprised. He didn't expect that even though he had defeated them all, these guys would still be grateful and even help him to increase his reputation. We are all good people. Thank you. And when he killed his last teammate, he finally heard the voice he wanted to hear most. Ding. A breakthrough in cultivation talent, promoted to Super. Ding. Combat skill mysterious steps upgraded to Great Accomplishment Realm. A voice like the sound of nature rang in Ye Chen's mind. The attribute panel is refreshed, and physical abilities are rapidly improved. Cultivation talent, Super. There is not even one like this in the entire South City. The further a warrior progresses, the harder it becomes to break through. The real limitation is not the warrior's own efforts and the resources he possesses, but his talent. Hard work determines a person's lower limit, but talent determines a person's upper limit. This is also why in the world of warriors, all resources related to improving talents are extremely expensive. Inferior talents, primary talents, and medium talents can also be found in some related resources on the market. As long as you have enough money, you can buy these things. But after reaching superior or even super talent, you can no longer find any resources available for purchase on the market to improve your talent. Any of these things are circulated and consumed internally and will never flow out. Even for those powerful and famous families, there are clear regulations that direct descendants cannot marry other ordinary warriors. The purpose is to ensure the purity of one's own bloodline and to have a higher chance of giving birth to offspring with outstanding talents. But all this was broken in Ye Chen's body, and now his cultivation talent has reached the top level. In the past, you could gain 1 experience point for practicing for 1 day, but now you can directly gain 50, or even 100, or even more experience points for practicing for 1 day. This is the difference in talent. Sure enough, as long as the number is large enough, I can still stack the worst talent to a higher level. Even to the limit. Top level talent, which means that even if I rely solely on this one talent, I can cultivate myself to an extremely high level. And, the mysterious body movement step, Great Accomplishment Realm. Ye Chen was delighted. If I can cultivate the first level body skills to perfection, I wonder if there will be any achievement rewards given by the system. Team 2, please prepare yourselves. We are about to arrive at the mission area. All members, please bring your equipment, medicine, and communication devices, and follow our instructions to eliminate the ferocious beasts. A voice came from the loudspeaker in the car. The bumpy bus finally stopped, and the heavy alloy door opened with a hissing sound, spewing out air. Everyone got off the bus one after another, and what appeared before their eyes was a ruin. Is this the old city? I heard that the South City was originally built on a mineral vein. After the minerals were mined, the city moved, but the old city has been completely abandoned. Lu Yuan couldn't help but be surprised. Ye Chen was also slightly surprised, because here you can still see the weathered buildings and collapsed ruins on both sides, giving it a feeling of a doomsday city. Everyone, the mission areas we are responsible for have been divided according to your strength. Please carry out the clearing according to the corresponding areas marked on the map. You will receive a corresponding reward for each ferocious beast you hunt. All you need is the ferocious beast core in the beast's skull as proof. If you encounter an unstoppable danger, you can call for our support at any time, but we can't guarantee it in time because we are responsible for the second-level beast. Okay, each of you act. He Guangzheng was striding towards the bus in front, his voice full of the majesty of a superior. In an instant, these prospective warriors lowered their heads like quails, and no one dared to look him in the eye. Oh? Am I responsible for Area 8? Ye Chen glanced at the map and squinted his eyes slightly, because Area number 8 was right at the edge of the contact area between the first-level ferocious beasts and the second-level ferocious beasts. And the teammate assigned to him was an ordinary reserve warrior. Lu Yuan, who was not far away, frowned slightly, because her map was in the outermost area number 22, which was almost the safest place. And his partner is actually He Weiqiang. Ah! Ha! That's great, Yuan, we're actually assigned to the same place, and the assigned position is pretty good. Don't worry, I will definitely keep you safe. He Weiqiang walked over with a smile on his face. It turned out that his cousin had taken care of him. The other preparatory dancers who were assigned to the area did not dare to say anything more. After all, this was the arrangement of the official warrior captain He Guanggui, and this was also a dangerous area outside the city. It was definitely not a wise choice to offend the strongest person in the entire team at this time. Captain He, when I first accepted the mission, there were no clear restrictions on this. The employer only required the hunting of ferocious beasts, so, can I refuse your arrangement? Lu Yuan gritted his teeth and finally spoke under the pressure. Her words instantly drew the attention of all the reserve warriors present. Miss Liu Yuan? Of course, there are no mandatory requirements for this mission. These are just reasonable suggestions from us as experienced people. You can choose to follow them or not. But if you don't follow them, we will not be responsible for anything that happens. He Guanggui glanced at Lu Yuan meaningfully. Lu Yuan, whose expression changed slightly, she naturally felt the threat from the other party clearly. She was not a fool. Looking at the arrangement and He Weiqiang's almost crooked smile, she could easily understand the reason. My cousin has made it clear that he wants to create opportunities for himself and the other party. Anyone with a normal brain would not choose to refuse his cousin's request under such circumstances. Okay, since I've chosen to participate in a hunting mission in the wild, I naturally don't need you to be responsible for my safety. Lu Yuan said with certainty. She is not a fool. He Weiqiang has mentioned to her time and again that the captain is his cousin, and now he is making this happen again. It's easy to figure out that the so-called grouping must be manipulated. Yuan, cousin is doing this for our own good. Anyway, this mission is mainly to gain some practical experience and get a combat certificate. He Weiqiang hurried forward to explain. I said, we are just ordinary classmates, He Weiqiang, please respect yourself. Lu Yuan spoke coldly, his tone keeping people at a distance. Captain He Guangzheng glanced at Lu Yuan coldly, and with another look he stopped the gloomy He Weiqiang. Do you have any other questions? Please feel free to ask. The groupings we give are just suggestions, not mandatory. If you have your own ideas, you don't have to follow our arrangements. However, there is no guarantee of safety. He Guangzheng sneered and glanced at the prospective warriors present. No one else dared to offend him, and they all accepted it obediently. Sorry, I have my own plans. Just as He Guangzheng showed a smile on his face, a discordant voice came from the team. He looked in the direction of the voice and saw that the person who spoke was the little guy he had marked. Ye Chen. Brother Ye, this should be your first time going out on a mission. Be careful outside, not only because of those ferocious beasts, but also because of some fellow warriors. He Guangzheng reminded with a smile. His words made the reserve warriors of Team 2 look worried. Indeed. People in the wild are more dangerous than beasts. Thanks for the reminder, I have made up my mind. Ye Chen said calmly. My original purpose of coming here was to hunt those ferocious beasts and obtain talents, so naturally I would not stick to one area. Okay, haha, let's go, you guys make your own arrangements. He Guangzheng sneered and said nothing more, leading the other members towards the depths of the ruins. All the warriors in preparation stayed here. Thanks. Suddenly Lu Yuan blushed and whispered softly. Ye Chen was puzzled. Thank you for offending them for me. Maybe I didn't think it through just now. I'll join your team. At least we can look after each other. Lu Yuan said gratefully. In her opinion, Ye Chen just said these things just to save himself. She simply didn't want to team up with He Weiqiang. I have no intention of forming a team for the time being, sorry. Ye Chen shook his head and directly rejected Lu Yuan's team up. Women will only affect the speed at which you draw your sword. Especially in such a wild ruin, there is no need to create an extra weakness. Finished. Ye Chen had no intention of staying. He checked his equipment and headed straight for the ruins. Ding! Reputation +8. Ding! Reputation +1. Ding! Reputation +1. Lu Yuan stood alone in the wind, disheveled. She didn't expect that her invitation to form a team would be rejected. My strength should be second only to the official warriors in the entire second team, and my appearance should not be bad either, right? He Weiqiang behind him was so angry that he was fuming and his teeth were grinding. The goddess in his mind, the goddess whom his dog has licked hard for many years without even touching her hand. For this occasion, he even spent all his savings for half a year on his cousin, and finally created such a good opportunity for the two of them to be alone together, and their relationship quickly heated up. Now the goddess directly rejected me, and then humbly begged another man to take her in? This moment hurt He Weiqiang's dignity as a man. He now wishes he could cut Ye Chen into pieces. Ye Chen did not go to the area arranged by He Guangzheng, but still headed in the direction of the second-level ferocious beast, just changing the route. Since the other party had deliberately left a mark on him, he didn't believe that he would be so kind as to wait for him to eat hot pot in front. He might even be ambushing him. Although he could defeat He Guangzheng in the shadow space, it was a shadow space after all, and reality would be different. Maybe he had helpers. Hey, boss, that guy actually rejected your arrangement in person. We haven't met such a courageous newcomer in a long time. A formal warrior playing with a dagger smiled maliciously. Don't worry, if he offends us, that kid won't have to go back. A newborn calf is like a tiger. The other man carrying a red longbow didn't care. Boss, that girl named Lu Yuan is so pretty. When your cousin is done with her, let us brothers take advantage of her too. Yeah, boss, it's not like we haven't done this before. It's been a while since we've encountered such a top-notch creature. When the time comes, just report that we died in battle. The other members of Team 1 had lewd smiles on their faces. As a warrior, his needs in that aspect are stronger than those of ordinary people. Ordinary women may not even be able to bear it. However, it is different for women who are preparatory warriors or warriors. They are naturally top-notch. Let's stop talking nonsense and finish the task first. The fish that has been hooked can't escape. Let that guy jump around for a while. As for the woman, as long as the job is done to your satisfaction, I will naturally not treat you unfairly. He Guangzheng sneered, and immediately his teammates whistled and shouted excitedly. Yuan Yuan, Yuan Yuan? Wait for me. Alas! Damn BD, if it weren't for you, Yuan Yuan would be with me. In the second team area, He Weiqiang stopped with resentment. Lu Yuan had no intention of teaming up with him and chose to enter alone. Instead, other ordinary members have formed teams of 3 or 4 and started cleaning the areas planned previously. Half a day later, Ye Chen finally found the first ferocious beast. The other party is hiding in those dry leaves, and even a formal warrior would find it difficult to find him. However, in his field of vision, a huge information panel jumped out. Shadow First Level Fierce Beast Gold-Eating Rat can be extracted. Shadow, First Level Ferocious Beast, Gold-Eating Rat. Qi and blood, 9.3 calories of qi and blood. Talent, elementary speed talent. Combat skills, none. Ye Chen was not polite at all, and the matte black long knife in his hand suddenly flashed. The black blade drew a beautiful mark in the air. Phew! The sound of metal cutting flesh was heard, accompanied by the violent struggle of the gold-eating rat. Blood spread out from under the dead leaves, and then it completely stopped moving. After pushing aside the dead leaves, there was a large rat underneath, almost the same size as Fatty Orange. Ye Chen touched it lightly with his fingers. Shadow extraction successful. Entering shadow space. Target, first level ferocious beast, gold-eating rat, 100% status, environment, wilderness ruins. It was just a nap stop, less than 10 seconds. Ye Chen directly dealt with the gold-eating rat again in the shadow space. Ding! Congratulations on getting the first level ferocious beast, the gold-eating rat. Ding! Elementary speed talent dropped, automatically fused for you, speed talent is elementary plus. Accompanied by system sounds. Ye Chen clearly felt waves of heat surging in his body. He retracted the long sword, made a knife flower, and the blood beads rolled off the blade. The blade became smooth as new again, and he sheathed the long sword. Elementary plus speed talent. Ye Chen's figure disappeared from the spot, leaving only fallen leaves on the ground. When he reappeared, he was already 10 meters away. It's indeed much faster than before. Now I have 2 elementary speed talents. I probably only need to fuse 1 or at most 2 more speed talents to directly upgrade to a medium speed talent. This effect is completely equivalent to killing the speed talent of the 3rd level ferocious beast Iron Feather Demon Eagle. It turns out that killing low-level monsters is the correct way to open it. So, my little Huang actually has the blood of a ferocious beast. Ye Chen felt emotional. The elementary plus speed talent allowed him to take his speed to a higher level, and he could naturally run faster. And after finding this one, 5 minutes later he saw the second ferocious beast in a collapsed ruin. The eye-catching entry caught Ye Chen's attention from a distance. Still a gold-eating rat. There is no challenge at all. Before the opponent could attack, Ye Chen took the initiative and nailed him to the ground with a black knife. Shadow extraction successful, first order gold-eating rat. Just take a nap, enter the shadow space, and defeat the opponent faster than before. But this time, Ye Chen was a little disappointed when he opened his eyes. No drops. Your own qi and blood should be far greater than that of the opponent and cannot be dropped. Talent, didn't even drop. Please note that talents of the same species cannot be dropped repeatedly. As if sensing the resentment from the host, Brother Tongzi directly gave the reason. I see. It turned out that the same species of ferocious beasts could not be obtained repeatedly, and his plan to kill the gold-eating rats to get a super speed talent was rejected. It seems, humans are still the best, at least there is no need to worry about the problem of repeated brushing. But so far, humans have counted thousands or even tens of thousands of species of ferocious beasts, so, this news doesn't seem to be bad. Since the gold-eating rat is no longer viable, we can only consider other ferocious beasts. Ye Chen pondered in his heart, still running the map quickly. The entire ruins were very large. This was the former South City. Finally, half an hour later, Ye Chen saw a ferocious beast that looked like it was covered in iron armor in a square covered with dense vegetation. Shadow can be extracted, first level fierce beast, barbarian bull. This is the beef that Ye Chen's family used to eat. The size of this guy is comparable to that of an Asian elephant, which is really exaggerated. One of the main sources of ferocious beast meat sold on the market. But even for such a huge bull, there is not much edible meat. It needs to be cut and processed, and then sold at the market for more than 300 yuan per pound. Ye Chen naturally didn't have the energy or time to bring this guy's body back now. He had no intention of killing this guy for the time being. The wild bull was indeed a first-level ferocious beast. But the problem is, this guy is covered in armor, has strong defense, thick skin, and is quite fleshy. Ordinary reserve warriors must be defeated in a team, and it is very time-consuming to defeat them alone. Ye Chen could naturally solve this thing easily, but there was no need. Because this guy's life is the best warning for me. What's more, what he needs doesn't necessarily mean killing the other person. So, elementary plus speed talent. Mysterious steps, great accomplishment. Ye Chen's figure passed by the wild bull like a ghost, and touched the other party directly the moment he passed by. Ding! Congratulations! You have successfully extracted the target Shadow. Shadow First Level Ferocious Beast Barbarian Bull. Chi and Blood, 14 calories. Talent, Primary Earth Element Hardening Talent. Combat Skill, Bull Trampling, Proficient. Entering Shadow Space. Select Target 100%, Location Grassland Wilderness. In the Shadow Space. Ye Chen was a little surprised. Because he clearly saw that Manu's Chi and Blood had clearly exceeded 14 cards, but he was still classified as a first-level fierce beast. Perhaps the bigger reason is that this guy is a herbivore and not very aggressive. Unless he is attacked, he will generally seldom attack his target. But the talent is really good. Primary Earth Element Hardening Talent. It also comes with a combat skill. Ye Chen in the Shadow Space was not polite. Medium Gold Element, Sharp Gold Talent Blessing. In an instant, the black blade flashed with a sharp light. Mysterious Steps Great Accomplishment. It was just a passing encounter. Then there was a sound like silk tearing, as if steel was being cut. The extremely hard skin of the wild bull was easily cut, and blood gushed out. The huge corpse fell to the ground with a loud bang and turned into a point of light and dissipated. Congratulations on reaching 100% of the first level fierce beast, the bull. Drops the primary earth element hardening talent, automatically fused and absorbed for you. Dropped combat skill, bull trampling, proficient, automatically absorbed for you. Properties panel update. A voice like the sound of nature rang out. Ye Chen's attribute panel has been completely revamped. Host, Ye Chen. Chi and Blood, 28.7 calories. Reputation, Newcomer, 172/1000. Unique, Shadow Extraction LV2, 1/2 remaining slots. Cultivation Talent, Super. Elemental Talent, Medium Fire Element, Medium Water Element, Medium Gold Element Sharp Gold, Primary Earth Element Hardened. Speed Talent, Elementary Plus. Strength Talent, Elementary. Boxing Talent, Medium. Knife Skill Talent, Medium. Shadow Talent, Elementary. Technique, Level 1, 18 Body Tempering Techniques, Perfect, Level 2, Rock Body Tempering Technique, Minor Success ++. Combat Skills, First Level Ultimate Collapse Fist, Great Mastery Plus, First Level Phantom Step, Great Mastery, First Level Multiple Shadow Blade, Minor Mastery, First Level Mist Blade, Minor Mastery, First Level Flame Fist, Proficient, First Level Punch, Proficient, First Level Sky Breaking Sword, Beginner, First Level Throat Cutting, Minor Mastery, First Level Formation Breaking Spear, Proficient, Ancient Breathing Technique, Proficient, First Level Bull Trampling, Proficient. When he opened his eyes again, a gleam of brilliance flashed in Ye Chen's eyes. There was suddenly a brown cyclone in the Danshan. Earth Element. Now he has 5 cyclones in his body, 4 elemental cyclones and 1 ordinary white cyclone. Ordinary formal warriors possess a tube of Qi. Ye Chen possesses 5 tubes of Qi. For a warrior, Qi is equivalent to mana. Moreover, the effect of the attribute Qi is several times greater than that of ordinary white energy, and it also comes with various effects. The brown cyclone is obviously the weakest. But as Ye Chen's mind moved slightly, strands of brown energy quickly spread throughout his body. In an instant, Ye Chen's skin still looks the same on the surface, but in fact it has become as tough as cowhide. An ordinary blade would only leave a white mark on it. These earth elemental forces can be activated at any part of the body to achieve a hardening effect. Very good. After acquiring this elementary earth hardening talent, my defense has significantly improved. The all-elemental hexagonal martial god. This is the direction of my true development. Ye Chen was in a good mood. It turned out that the ferocious beasts in the wild were his treasure trove. Time flies. 1 day later. On an abandoned factory tower building, a dark shadow flashed by. The rusty steel bars broke through the air and instantly nailed a four-legged creature that was almost invisible to the naked eye to the high tower. Blood splattered, and it was only then that it was revealed to be a ferocious beast similar to a chameleon. It struggled miserably for a few times, and finally stopped moving. Hey! I finally caught up with it. This thing is really fast. But its talent is surprising. Ye Chen jumped down from another ruin, stopped himself by inserting his black knife into the high tower, and touched the corpse of the ferocious beast with his hand. Ding! Congratulations on extracting the special first-level beast, the color-changing salamander shadow. This thing is really troublesome. Ye Chen smiled. He had spent most of the day trying to deal with this guy. Certainly. The main reason is that encountering a ferocious beast requires luck, and Ye Chen likes this chameleon salamander very much. After finding a secluded place, Ye Chen directly opened the shadow space. Shadow space opens. Shadow color changing salamander 100%, select environment ruins. Shadow, chameleon salamander. Qi and blood, 9.2 calories. Talent, primary disguise talent. Talent, primary healing talent. Description, a ferocious beast with a strong ability to adapt to the environment. The talent of this chameleon salamander is definitely what he wants very much. Having killed targets in reality, he was naturally familiar with the shadow space, but the ferocious beast with the talent of camouflage was indeed quite troublesome. This guy was hard to find even in the shadow space, but in the end he was killed by Ye Chen. Ding! Congratulations on getting 100% of the first-level fierce beast, the color-changing salamander. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the elementary camouflage talent. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the primary healing talent. A voice like the sound of nature rang in Ye Chen's mind. In an instant, information about the talents of camouflage and healing flooded into his body, just like humans controlling their own fingers. Once these talents were integrated, Ye Chen could also control them perfectly. Healing talent can greatly increase one's healing ability. Ye Chen slowly opened his eyes, full of joy. He drew his sword and the blade slashed across his fingertips. It actually feels like I'm cutting cowhide. Elemental talent elementary earth hardened. This is a passive talent. Once it is actively activated, the hardening strength can be raised to a higher level. After Ye Chen applied a little force, a small piece of flesh was directly cut off, and blood rolled down, but what was surprising was that the wound was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. The flesh that had been cut off also grew back automatically. Although the speed is not fast, after all, it is only primary healing, but it is indeed visible to the naked eye. In less than a minute, the wound has healed to its original state, without even a scar, and no trace can be seen. Amazing! It's only elementary healing, yet it can achieve this level. The most important thing is, this talent can be applied to any part of the body. Even internal injuries can be repaired through elementary healing. Ye Chen was pleasantly surprised. This means that if his internal organs are injured, they can be automatically repaired through primary healing, which gives him a huge advantage over other warriors. Of course, regenerating severed limbs. Ye Chen believed that even the elementary healing talent might not be able to do it, let alone regenerating Kun Kun. Unless, superior healing, or even super healing. In addition, elementary disguise. With a slight thought, Ye Chen was surprised to find that his skin was changing color rapidly. Where he was a ruin with a grey-brown background, and his skin was also turning grey-brown. When the fingers touched the stone, they gradually turned into the color of the stone. If viewed from a distance, Ye Chen blends completely into the environment and cannot be detected by the naked eye. Not bad. Very good. Elementary camouflage can achieve a visual camouflage effect, and ordinary regular warriors cannot detect it. But this thing, once combined with the ancient breath containment technique I acquired, and my shadow talent, is enough to make even elite warriors unable to sense the slightest presence. Ye Chen was delighted. It can be said that this camouflage ability plus ancient breath concealing technique plus shadow talent is simply exclusive to the old Sinister One. After getting rid of the chameleon salamander, Ye Chen continued to move forward. But Ye Chen didn't walk far before he felt something was wrong. Because in the field of vision ahead, he saw a large number of ferocious beast information panels swarming in one direction. Unfortunately, these panels all show ferocious beasts of the same species. And there were sounds of fighting coming from the front. Elementary disguise talent. Ancient breath-holding technique. Ye Chen followed the group of ferocious beasts directly. When he got closer, he found that they were a group of ape-like beasts with black hair all over their bodies, particularly large mouths and teeth like saws. Shadow First Level Ferocious Beast Violent Toothed Demon Ape Extractable. But Ye Chen didn't have much chance to get close, because these guys were gathered in a large group, climbing and jumping in the ruins of the building, and were extremely agile. Finally they arrived at a ruin, where 3 reserve warriors were trapped. The leader was Lu Yuan, who was holding a long sword and had injuries on his body. Her plump breasts rose and fell violently, and her beautiful eyes stared at the surroundings. The other several prospective warriors next to her were pale and full of fear. There were 2 headless corpses on the ground. We're surrounded and can't leave. How come there are over a dozen demonic apes here? It's over, we are so unlucky. The 2 reserve warriors looked pale. The violent toothed demon ape has a brutal personality and likes to eat human brains. It is also a social creature and is unwilling to offend even many second-level ferocious beasts. But for some reason a large group of people suddenly came over. What's even more terrible is that standing not far away is a demon ape with snow-white hair all over its body. It is a full ton taller than the other demon apes. In one hand, it is holding the head of a prospective warrior and gnawing on it, and in the other hand, it is playing with a stone as big as a pot. The reserve warrior who just died was hit by a stone and was declared dead on the spot. Nearly 20 demon apes surrounded the few people, dancing and grinning with excitement. There were also several corpses of ordinary demon apes lying at Lu Yuan's feet. Her beautiful eyes were fixed on the white demon ape, and she had a qi and blood pill in her mouth. This thing could not only increase qi and blood, but also quickly restore physical strength. But even so, her heart sank to the bottom. Ye Chen did not take action, but instead hid quietly in a pile of weeds. With the help of his elementary camouflage talent, patterns of weed color appeared on his skin, which could not be seen from a distance. He immediately saw the white demon ape. That guy was definitely the leader monster, no. It's boss level. Because that thing is already a second-level ferocious beast, the only second-level one in the entire group of demon apes. But his attention now was not on the white demon ape. Instead, he looked at the ruins only a few meters away from him with some surprise. Because in these ruins, there are 2 information panels that are completely different from those of the demon apes. That is not the panel of a ferocious beast, but a purely human panel. Ye Chen couldn't help but laugh. It was really like the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the aureole behind it. What a pity! Their disguise was indeed quite good, but the information panel above their heads was as big as a star in the dark night for them. Shadow Preparatory Warrior Huiqiang can be extracted. Shadow Formal Warrior Horsepower can be extracted. Brother Ma, when are we going to take action? If you don't do it now, something bad will happen to Yuan. Huiqiang whispered in the hidden ruins. Idiot! I told you to put out so much beast-attracting incense, but why did you put in so much? You even managed to get a second-tier beast here. What are we going to do? The official warrior named Mali was carrying a red longbow, and he was one of the team members who had been with Ma Guangzhang before. He was specially arranged to pick up Huiqiang. I just want to be a hero and save the damsel in distress. Brother Ma, please think of a way. Huiqiang said with a sad face. There's no other way. If you want to do it yourself. Don't burden me. There are over 20 first-level beasts and 1 second-level beast. Even if I were made of iron, I could only hammer a few nails. Can't I just give you more money? Brother Ma, as long as you do well this time, I'll give you an extra 100,000. Money can buy life? You're so naive. For your brother's sake, I can at most help you attract these demon apes before that woman dies. If they become hostile to me, you can take advantage of the situation and kill them. Don't even think about surviving. Molly sneered. While it's hot. He Weiqiang's expression was uncertain, and he finally gritted his teeth and said, "Okay, I'll do it while the iron is hot." "Damn it, you stinky BCH. If you don't want to follow me, you can't escape it even if you die. Since I can't get Lu Yuan alive, I might as well take him while he's hot, as long as it allows me to vent my hatred. By the way, Brother Ma, that BD called Ye Chen, you and my cousin agreed. I'm willing to pay 500,000. Look at you, you're just an ordinary reserve warrior. Don't worry, your brother has already marked you. Once we've dealt with the ferocious beast, it will be that brat's turn. Brother Ma, leave me one alive when the time comes. I want him to taste my holy water and kneel before me begging for mercy. I'll pay more." The two of them were talking in low voices, but they didn't know that their words were heard clearly by Ye Chen, who was a few meters away. Well, the saying "man is handsome and bird suffers" probably means this. The forest is big and there are all kinds of things. Brother Ma, let's get started. Watch carefully and don't let that monkey scratch that girl's face. He Weiqiang stared at the distance and couldn't help but remind him. Phew! Blood splattered. Something warm suddenly sprayed on He Weiqiang's face. He was a little confused. Not only him, even Molly, a formal warrior who was holding a longbow and waiting for an opportunity to fire, stood there in a daze. He widened his eyes and looked in disbelief at the scarlet knife tip that suddenly emerged from his chest. Blood gushed out of his chest. He grew up and wanted to shout, but found a hand covering his mouth. Before he died, he turned his bloodshot eyes desperately and saw a figure appear next to him at some point. It was Ye Chen, who was holding a knife in one hand and covering his mouth with the other. The other person smiled politely and even made a shut-up gesture with his mouth. "Shh, you're dead, go to sleep." Ye Chen smiled. He had no habit of being on guard against thieves every day, especially when others were loudly plotting to kill him or even humiliate him endlessly. Then you have to be kind enough to let the other person go. Elementary camouflage plus ancient breath concealing technique plus elementary shadow talent. Even though Ye Chen had already arrived behind the two guys and listened for several seconds, they didn't notice anything. "I can't bear to say it, it's simply a must-have skill for killing and sneak attacks at home or when traveling." He Weiqiang was so frightened that his soul was trembling. His face turned pale in an instant, even paler than the wall. His legs were shaking so much that he couldn't control himself. He tried desperately to pull out the knife, but he couldn't get it out after several attempts. Instead, some smelly liquid flowed out of his crotch. He Weiqiang's legs were so weak that he couldn't move, and he fell down head first, like pounding garlic. I was wrong, brother. I was wrong." He was already somewhat incoherent. Because he never dreamed of the power of a first-level official warrior. He was killed by Ye Chen before he could even fart. Especially the other party's murderous eyes and expression, which were extremely calm. It's as easy as drinking a glass of water. He finally realized that this guy who joined the second team and was about the same age as him was definitely not a normal person. "Brother, I have money, I have money. As long as you don't kill me, I will give you 500,000. No, 1 million. I will give you everything, including Lu Yuan. She is yours, brother." Ma Weiqiang kowtowed, his eyes filled with despair. Ye Chen slowly drew out his sword, feeling a little regretful. Because the horsepower is too weak. Garbage chi and blood, garbage talent, just a basic cultivation talent. To be able to become a formal warrior, he must have taken a lot of medicine. Of course, he also has an archery skill, which is just barely enough. Shadow second level, first level official warrior horsepower extraction successful. Enter the shadow space, 100% target, select the woman's room in the red light district. I didn't expect that the place this guy went to most often was a woman's bed. A shooter was trapped in the room. 3 seconds. This is not the limit of Ye Chen's ability to kill him in 1 second, but the limit of the distance and sword drawing between the two of them. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out your shadow HP. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the primary cultivation talent. Automatic fusion. Your cultivation talent has been improved. Currently, it is 3.1% higher. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the combat skill precision shooting. Automatically absorbed. It's really lame. It's not a wasted death. At least it provides me with the ability of a shooter, which may be of some use in the future. That's all. In the 3 seconds that He Weiqiang begged for mercy, his crotch was already wet. He was about to beg for mercy, but an arrow pierced through his mouth and nailed him to the ground. Ye Chen used horsepower arrows. He Weiqiang's body, he didn't even think of extracting the shadow. A weak stroke. He simply dirtied his hands and was no match for a demon ape. The two bodies fell quietly. He came quietly and left quietly. Roar! The demon apes in the distance finally couldn't hold back and launched an attack. The white demon ape was the strongest, and it actually threw a huge rock directly, almost smashing a reserve warrior into a meat patty. This was considered the clarion call for a general attack. The other first-level demon apes screamed and jumped forward, rushing forward with extreme ferocity. Lu Yuan and the other two suddenly turned pale, but they could not find any way to retreat. Shadow. Lu Yuan's figure became blurred, her beautiful eyes were filled with despair, but the knife in her hand did not soften at all. A black shadow and a knife mark flashed by, and a demon ape screamed as it was cut with a wound, but soon more demon apes rushed up. Seeing this scene, the white second-level demon ape showed a human-like grin in his eyes. But it suddenly turned around and let out an angry roar. A flash of knife light cut through the guy's snow-white fur, pierced into its shoulder, and cut a hideous gash. There was suddenly a human figure behind it. The other party even put one hand on its back. Shadow second order sharp-toothed white ape extraction successfully. Ultimate collapse fist great accomplishment state. Open. Boom. The demon ape's body, which was as tall as a floor, was shattered by the figure's punch, and a cloud of blood mist exploded from its spine. Its angry roar instantly attracted the attention of all the demon apes. I'm looking for some data. Thank you all. Please vote for me. Thank you. Brother Ma, when are we going to take action? If you don't do it now, something bad will happen to Yuan Yuan. He Weiqiang whispered in the hidden ruins. Idiot. I told you to put out so much beast-attracting incense, but why did you put in so much? You even managed to get a second-tier beast here. What are we going to do? The official warrior named Molly was carrying a red longbow, and he was one of the team members who had been with Ma Guangzhang before. He was specially arranged to pick up He Weiqiang. I just want to be a hero and save the damsel in distress. Brother Ma, please think of a way. He Weiqiang said with a sad face. There's no other way. If you want to do it yourself. Don't burden me. There are over 20 first-level beasts and 1 second-level beast. Even if I were made of iron, I could only hammer a few nails. Can't I just give you more money? Brother Ma, as long as you do well this time, I'll give you an extra 100,000. Money can buy life? You're so naive. For your brother's sake, I can at most help you attract these demon apes before that woman dies. If they become hostile to me, you can take advantage of the situation and kill them. Don't even think about surviving. Molly sneered. While it's hot. He Weiqiang's expression was uncertain, and he finally gritted his teeth and said, okay, I'll do it while the iron is hot. Damn it, you stinky BCH. If you don't want to follow me, you can't escape it even if you die. Since I can't get Lu Yuan alive, I might as well take him while he's hot, as long as it allows me to vent my hatred. By the way, Brother Ma, that BD called Ye Chen, you and my cousin agreed. I'm willing to pay 500,000. Look at you, you're just an ordinary reserve warrior. Don't worry, your brother has already marked you. Once we've dealt with the ferocious beast, it will be that brat's turn. Brother Ma, leave me one alive when the time comes. I want him to taste my holy water and kneel before me begging for mercy. I'll pay more. The two of them were talking in low voices, but they didn't know that their words were heard clearly by Ye Chen, who was a few meters away. Well, The saying man is handsome and bird suffers probably means this. The forest is big and there are all kinds of things. Brother Ma. Let's get started. Watch carefully and don't let that monkey scratch that girl's face. He Weiqiang stared at the distance and couldn't help but remind him. Phew! Blood splattered. Something warm suddenly sprayed on He Weiqiang's face. He was a little confused. Not only him, even Molly, a formal warrior who was holding a longbow and waiting for an opportunity to fire, stood there in a daze. He widened his eyes and looked in disbelief at the scarlet knife tip that suddenly emerged from his chest. Blood gushed out of his chest. He grew up and wanted to shout, but found a hand covering his mouth. Before he died, he turned his bloodshot eyes desperately and saw a figure appear next to him at some point. It was Ye Chen, who was holding a knife in one hand and covering his mouth with the other. The other person smiled politely and even made a shut-up gesture with his mouth. "Shh, you're dead, go to sleep." Ye Chen smiled. He had no habit of being on guard against thieves every day, especially when others were loudly plotting to kill him or even humiliate him endlessly. Then you have to be kind enough to let the other person go. Elementary camouflage plus ancient breath concealing technique plus elementary shadow talent. Even though Ye Chen had already arrived behind the two guys and listened for several seconds, they didn't notice anything. I can't bear to say it, it's simply a must-have skill for killing and sneak attacks at home or when traveling. He Weiqiang was so frightened that his soul was trembling. His face turned pale in an instant, even paler than the wall. His legs were shaking so much that he couldn't control himself. He tried desperately to pull out the knife, but he couldn't get it out after several attempts. Instead, some smelly liquid flowed out of his crotch. He Weiqiang's legs were so weak that he couldn't move, and he fell down head first, like pounding garlic. I was wrong, brother. I was wrong. He was already somewhat incoherent. Because he never dreamed of the power of a first-level official warrior. He was killed by Ye Chen before he could even fart. Especially the other party's murderous eyes and expression, which were extremely calm. It's as easy as drinking a glass of water. He finally realized that this guy who joined the second team and was about the same age as him was definitely not a normal person. "Brother, I have money, I have money. As long as you don't kill me, I will give you 500,000. No, 1 million. I will give you everything, including Lu Yuan. She is yours, brother." Ma Weiqiang kowtowed, his eyes filled with despair. Ye Chen slowly drew out his sword, feeling a little regretful. Because the horsepower is too weak. Garbage chi and blood, garbage talent, just a basic cultivation talent. To be able to become a formal warrior, he must have taken a lot of medicine. Of course, he also has an archery skill, which is just barely enough. Shadow second level, first level official warrior horsepower extraction successful. Enter the shadow space, 100% target, select the woman's room in the red light district. I didn't expect that the place this guy went to most often was a woman's bed. A shooter was trapped in the room. 3 seconds. This is not the limit of Ye Chen's ability to kill him in 1 second, but the limit of the distance and sword drawing between the two of them. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out your shadow HP. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the primary cultivation talent. Automatic fusion. Your cultivation talent has been improved. Currently, it is 3.1% higher. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the combat skill precision shooting. Automatically absorbed. It's really lame. It's not a wasted death. At least it provides me with the ability of a shooter, which may be of some use in the future. That's all. In the 3 seconds that He Weiqiang begged for mercy, his crotch was already wet. He was about to beg for mercy, but an arrow pierced through his mouth and nailed him to the ground. Ye Chen used horsepower arrows. He Weiqiang's body, he didn't even think of extracting the shadow. A weak stroke. He simply dirty his hands and was no match for a demon ape. The two bodies fell quietly. He came quietly and left quietly. Roar! The demon apes in the distance finally couldn't hold back and launched an attack. The white demon ape was the strongest, and it actually threw a huge rock directly, almost smashing a reserve warrior into a meat patty. This was considered the clarion call for a general attack. The other first-level demon apes screamed and jumped forward, rushing forward with extreme ferocity. Lu Yuan and the other two suddenly turned pale, but they could not find any way to retreat. Shadow. Lu Yuan's figure became blurred, her beautiful eyes were filled with despair, but the knife in her hand did not soften at all. A black shadow and a knife mark flashed by, and a demon ape screamed as it was cut with a wound, but soon more demon apes rushed up. Seeing this scene, the white second-level demon ape showed a human-like grin in his eyes. But it suddenly turned around and let out an angry roar. A flash of knife light cut through the guy's snow-white fur, pierced into its shoulder, and cut a hideous gash. There was suddenly a human figure behind it. The other party even put one hand on its back. Shadow second order sharp-toothed white ape extraction successfully. Ultimate collapse fist great accomplishment state. Open. Boom. The demon ape's body, which was as tall as a floor, was shattered by the figure's punch, and a cloud of blood mist exploded from its spine. Its angry roar instantly attracted the attention of all the demon apes. I'm looking for some data. Thank you all. Please vote for me. Thank you. Roar, roar, roar. The white demon ape staggered back, roaring in pain, and swept across with its huge claws, but the figure dodged with extraordinary agility by leaping back. A bloody hole appeared on its back, and even the broken vertebrae could be seen. This sneak attack directly took its life. But it is worthy of being a second-level ferocious beast, with extremely strong vitality. Especially its roar instantly made the demon apes that were originally besieging Liu Yuan turn red-eyed, and rush back desperately. The pressure on Lu Yuan and the other two, who were already surrounded by danger, was suddenly greatly reduced. The other two wounded reserve warriors looked in horror at the direction the demon ape fled, and turned around and ran away without even saying goodbye. Lu Yuan stayed where she was, her beautiful eyes fixed on the distance. It's him. Like being struck by lightning, a lot of thoughts emerged in her head. She recognized the figure, it was Ye Chen. Ye Chen, the captain of Team 2, a man of the same age whom he had met once before, was now being surrounded by those demonic apes. Why did he come to save himself? Could it be that he likes me? When Lu Yuan thought of this, her pretty face suddenly flushed, and she was so beautiful that she even forgot the pain in her body at this moment, and her heart was full of sweetness. Even, the names of their children have been decided. Not good. Ye Chen is in danger. After coming to her senses, Lu Yuan didn't care about anything else and rushed towards Ye Chen with a knife in hand. She didn't even care about her own safety anymore. She just wanted to help Ye Chen and keep him alive. If He Weiqiang's spirit in heaven saw this scene, he would be so angry that he would pretend to be dead. The hero saving the beauty routine that I spent so much time preparing was never used until I died. Instead, my enemy just picked up a ready-made one. I'm so angry. Ye Chen. Let me help you. Here, hurry up. Lu Yuan rushed forward, and multiple shadow knives burst out, chopping off a demon ape and sending it flying, but he also had another wound on his body. But she was completely unaware and continued to call out loudly. Ye Chen, who was trapped in the center, frowned slightly. He was not in much danger at the moment. In line with the old shady monster-killing method, he didn't care about moral integrity at all, and he just used a dirty trick on the white-haired demon ape. It really works. The ultimate collapse fist, great accomplishment realm, is now unleashed in Ye Chen, and this definitely exceeds an astonishing combat power of over 500. This white-haired demon ape was only a second-level primary ferocious beast, which could be considered a mutant. However, after enduring such a blow, its heart, liver, and lungs were almost shattered, and its spine was severely injured on the spot. The dying white-haired creature was naturally extremely angry. It rushed towards Ye Chen almost recklessly, and even used its little brother, the black-haired demon ape, next to it as a weapon and smashed it wildly. The mysterious steps of the Great Perfection Realm. Double the elementary speed talent. Paired with the elusive elementary shadow talent. Ye Chen dodged the dying beast with ease, and he discovered that fire elemental power was more effective than sharp gold elemental power against this kind of beast. So, There was a layer of fire color on the sword. With just a casual slash of the sword, a black demon ape that was trying to attack Ye Chen in midair was directly cut into two. The entrails were scattered all over the floor. Lu Yuan from the outer circle rushed in desperately, with more and more wounds on his body. And the inner circle. 7 or 8 black demon apes had already fallen around Ye Chen. The white-haired demon ape's breath began to fade. Now. Great accomplishment, mysterious steps. Double the elementary speed. Elementary shadow talent. Minor achievement, multiple shadow blades. Minor accomplishment, mist blade. Buzz. The white demon ape's sharp claws hit Ye Chen's head. Excitement appeared in its ferocious eyes, but it was stunned the next second. Because there was no sense of impact. It's an after-image. Then a sharp pain and burning sensation suddenly emerged in the chest. Ye Chen actually ducked down to avoid its blow, and a stab to the heart seemed to pierce his chest with a red-hot knife. Then pick and kill. Tear. From the chest to the head, the white demon ape was split into two by Ye Chen, and a hot, charred bloodline drew it into two symmetrical halves. The huge corpse maintained the attacking action for a second, and then, like a ripe fruit, it split in half with a snap. It broke into two pieces and fell down with a loud bang. The sudden death of their leader stunned these demon apes. They opened their eyes wide and looked with horror at their once omnipotent leader lying on the ground. The CPU, which had little remaining brain capacity, worked rapidly and finally reacted while it was almost smoking and burning. A terrified scramble to escape. Call. Ye Chen then let out a long breath. Many of his clothes were torn by the black-haired monkeys, and they even left many wounds on him. But with the primary healing talent, those wounds were perfectly healed during the battle. It looks like, just some of the corners of the clothes are slightly dirty. Lu Yuan, who was not far away, was covered in wounds. She stood there blankly, her beautiful eyes wide open, and her pretty face was full of disbelief. Under the feet of the two men were piles of demon ape corpses, as well as the corpse of the second-level ferocious beast, the white-haired demon ape. A smile suddenly appeared on Lu Yuan's face, and then she fell to the ground. In the moment before she lost consciousness, she saw the figure she had been dreaming of, walking towards her quickly and grabbing her. She felt as if she was lying in an extremely warm embrace, and a slight smile appeared on the corner of Lu Yuan's mouth. He just fainted from exhaustion. These injuries. Ye Chen glanced at Lu Yuan, who was covered in wounds, and took her directly to a secluded place nearby. The other person's clothes were torn, and one could even see his snow-white skin. Ye Chen took out the medicine he carried with him and gave it to her, then went straight into the shadow space. Women will only affect the speed at which you draw your sword. Killing monsters is the first priority. Let's get started. Ding! Shadow Level 2, Level 2 Ferocious Beast Raging White Ape 100% Status Challenge begins, select the environment as ruins. Shadow, Level 2, Rascal White Ape. Chi and Blood, 25.2 calories. Talent, Double Primary Strength Talent. Note, Mutant Species, this species is a mutant of the Raging Toothed Ape. This guy has an additional elementary strength talent compared to ordinary demon apes. Therefore, even if it is only a level 2 beast, its attack power is actually comparable to that of level 5 or 6. Quite amazing. Ye Chen was even more unscrupulous in the shadow space. 3 minutes. Ye Chen resolved the battle, and the toothy white ape wailed as its heart was pierced and fell down. Ding! Congratulations on getting 100% of the level 2 ferocious beast, the raging white ape. Ding! Double primary strength talent dropped, automatically fused for you. Ding! We've detected that you possess a primary strength talent. The fusion was successful, and your talent has been upgraded. Congratulations on obtaining the medium strength talent. A voice like the sound of nature rang out. Perfect. Comfortable. Intermediate strength talent. Elementary strength talent can increase attack power by 20%, but intermediate, it can directly double the attack power. This means that my current combat power has definitely reached level 1000 when I fully unleash it. Ye Chen clenched his fist and then slammed it hard on the bluestone on the ground. The extremely hard blue stone actually exploded directly under Ye Chen's fist. The increase in medium strength talent is really gratifying. You have to know that only the 3rd level ferocious beast Iron Feathered Demon Eagle can explode with medium level talents, but that guy's blood and energy are as much as 500 cards. And now, Ye Chen, whose health is only more than 20 cards, directly bursts out with thousands of combat power. Sure enough, hunting ferocious beasts is the most suitable way for me to level up. Of course, if I can meet enough geniuses and kill all their shadows, that would be great for me too. It's a pity that Nanchinj is just a small city after all, and there are only a handful of geniuses here. But after I pass the Wu University entrance exam, all of this will not be a problem. Ye Chen suddenly felt a little excited because the martial arts exam would be held soon. I love being with geniuses the most. They talk so sweetly and everyone helps me practice. He 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 he. Lu Yuan's breathing is now stable. There are no fatal injuries on his body. Some of the ordinary wounds have been sprinkled with medicine. It seems that he fainted due to excessive exhaustion. Oh right, I wonder if this vicious-toothed black ape can still be extracted. Even a mosquito leg is still meat. To stack a medium strength talent to a high level, I wonder how much more is needed. Ye Chen didn't hesitate and directly found a black ape's corpse to touch. This is the corpse that was just beheaded and is still warm. Ding! Shadow 1st level ferocious beast violent toothed black ape extracted successfully. Ding! 100% challenge begins, select the environment as wilderness ruins. 10 seconds. In the shadow space, Ye Chen directly cut the guy in half with one knife. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect you to die again. Ding! Congratulations on clearing the 1st tier beast, the vicious-toothed black ape. No drop. This species talent has been maxed out and cannot be stacked with the same race. Alright. Sure enough, I can't use Brother Tongs's bug. What if I grind the 1st level first and then the 2nd level? Can I get 3 primary powers? I almost forgot to collect the spoils. Although the shadows were destroyed, these 2nd level beasts already have magic cores, and they are quite valuable. 1st level beasts can only be sold for meat, and there are no magic cores at all. Ye Chen jumped directly onto the white ape's body and opened its brain to remove the core. At the same time, deep in the ruins, He Guangzheng led the team deeper and deeper, leaving behind the corpses of 1st level ferocious beasts along the way, most of which were gold-eating rats. Strange, didn't the mission say there were 2nd level beasts here? Why are there only these 1st level rats? A formal warrior said in a deep voice. Perhaps the previous battle alarmed this area, and those guys ran away? What a pity! I had originally planned to hunt more 2nd level beasts, but now there are only so many. Hey, I think Molly has already passed by. That dog might get the first bite. What a pity! I heard he's still a rookie. Tisk tisk tisk. Huh? Boss. Molly's coordinates aren't moving. That guy's been stuck there for a long time. Could something be wrong? And your cousins too? The crowd suddenly exclaimed. He Guangzheng specially gave He Weiqiang a tactical wristband that could be used for long-distance positioning, but he felt more at ease with the official warrior Molly by his side. Boss. The signal is gone. The team members in charge of detection looked extremely ugly. His words instantly made the expressions of others present look wonderful. Are you kidding? Molly is a skilled archer and is also good at hiding. He should be able to survive even if he encounters a pack of ferocious beasts. You must have seen it wrong, didn't you? Why is the signal from that little thing also nearby, and it's still moving? He Guangzheng frowned and looked over. We did see that the signals from team member Molly and his cousin were gradually disappearing, which was a sign of life. On the contrary, Ye Chen, who was marked by him, was still flashing and even moving slowly. There's a problem over there. Get ready to go. He Guangzhen's face turned pale in an instant, but just as he was about to call someone over, his expression suddenly changed and he shouted loudly. Get out of the way. Bang! The alloy spear in his hand pierced the ground, a shrill scream was heard, dark green juice spurted out, and the ground actually corroded with a sizzling sound. Not far away, another unlucky official warrior was suddenly caught by something. He drew his sword and swung it desperately. But the brown snake-like thing quickly wrapped around him and squeezed into his mouth. He screamed in pain, his flesh and blood being sucked away as fast as if he were sucking jelly. His hands and feet twitched violently for a few times and soon stopped moving. This horrifying scene made everyone distance themselves instantly. He Guangzheng even pointed the spear in his hand hard, directly piercing and bursting several strange snakes that wanted to entangle him. With the help of sunlight, they could finally see clearly what had killed their teammates. Not a snake. It turned out to be a root branch with mottled patterns, which looked particularly strange. Boss. What the hell is this? A team member cut off a patterned dead branch, which twisted and struggled on the ground as if it had life, looking extremely creepy. He Guangzheng had never seen this kind of thing before, but it could definitely be classified as a ferocious beast. Prepare fire. He gestured to several team members behind him, and some of them brought some highly incendiary potions, which were very effective against the team's ferocious beasts. Just as the team member took out a ball of potion from his pocket and was about to ignite it. Phew! The sound of a sharp blade tearing flesh. He stared blankly at the sharp blade that pierced his chest, blood gushing out, a very familiar feeling. He slowly turned his head and saw the dead team member. At this moment, this guy actually stood up shakily, then drew his knife and stabbed himself. However, strange patterned branches grew in his mouth and eyes, which looked very scary. Roar, roar, roar. As soon as this team member died, bursts of beast-like roars came from the ruins in the distance. Then, I suddenly saw a large group of ferocious beasts with dry bones like firewood and mummies that had obviously been dead for a long time roaring out. Their situations are very similar, and they all have patterned roots similar to those of formal warriors. FK. There's a demonic ghost vine here. Let's go. He Guangzhen's expression changed drastically, and he no longer cared about anything. He even pushed a team member next to him out as bait. However, he didn't expect that the teammate whose chest had just been pierced grabbed his hand tightly, and the strange vines in his mouth, like a face hugger, instantly wrapped around and spread towards him crazily. Demonic pattern ghost vine. A second-level plant-based beast, extremely rare and uncommon. This is a very aggressive beast, and it possesses a very rare, evolutionary trait, which allows it to evolve by constantly devouring other beasts. A huge disaster once broke out. A 5th-level magic pattern ghost vine, no, it should be called a thousand-eyed demon vine, almost destroyed the entire city. It was only after the Warrior Association dispatched a team of strong men that it was killed. He Guangzheng finally understood why the association had previously given information about this area, saying that there were many ferocious beasts that needed to be dealt with, but he himself had not encountered any. Because the demonic pattern ghost vine helped to clean it up first, although this guy is only a second-level murderer, he is definitely a third-level dangerous level. There is very little information about this thing, but it is also very valuable. Plant materials are priced sky-high on the black market. However, He Guangzheng is not stupid enough to take the risk to deal with this thing. He does not think that he is a Superman. He has been living in seclusion for most of his life and has always only accepted tasks that are much lower than his own level. So, at this moment, he decisively chose to abandon his teammates and run away. The team member who was pushed out was extremely shocked and angry, but just as he drew his sword, he was trampled by the corpses of more than a dozen second-level ferocious beasts coming towards him and was torn to pieces on the spot. The other people were also shocked by this scene. They were definitely no match for this guy who could directly control more than a dozen second-level ferocious beasts. He Guangzheng was running the fastest. Several team members behind him were also scared to death at this moment. They no longer cared about what happened in Liaoyuan. They only regretted that their parents had lost a few legs. Buzz! But just as they were fleeing, the dead branches and leaves on the ground suddenly exploded, and patterned vines crisscrossed each other as if a large net had been woven in an instant. A huge main vine, as red as blood, appeared. There were actually eyes cracked on the vine, including human eyes, ferocious beast eyes, and then bloody mouths with layers of sharp teeth. Sound waves that cannot be heard by ears burst out from this mouth. All I saw were the dead branches and leaves around me flying away, and an invisible ripple spreading. Oops! He Guangzheng suddenly stopped and pulled up the scapegoat teammate behind him to block himself. All I saw was that the frightened and angry team member's expression suddenly became dull under the invisible ripples, and then vines pierced into his limbs. A shrill scream was heard, and he was pulled and fixed to the big net. Several teammates who were fleeing nearby did not escape either. Some of them fell down under the attack of the strange ripples, some looked painful, and after a brief loss of consciousness, they were all trapped by the pain. Even He Guangzheng felt a pain in his ankle, which was caused by a tiny piece of paper. That thing actually drilled directly into the blood vessels, as if it was about to take root and sprout. Tear! He Guangzheng thrust his spear down directly, cutting his own leg open, causing blood to gush out, but he managed to pick off the thing with roots, then rolled over in a panic and rushed into the bushes on the side. He Guangzheng! You will die a miserable death. Ah! I made you the boss in vain. Help! Woo! Hearing angry and shrill screams from behind him, He Guangzheng fled madly without even looking back, but what terrified him was that the ghost-eye demon vine seemed to be staring at him. Wrong! The energy and blood in his blood far exceeds that of others, and is the best tonic for the magic vine. The huge main vine twisted madly like a giant spotted python and chased after them, carrying behind it a large number of mummies and 5 team members who were rooted and imprisoned and screaming as if they were being tortured. In the ruins, Ye Chen just searched in the nearby area, and surprisingly, he was lucky enough to encounter a first-level ferocious beast, the green rock turtle, sleeping underground. This guy looks like a piece of stone, and he didn't react at all despite the big commotion here before. Ye Chen was not polite and directly extracted it. Then solo in the shadow space. What surprised him was that although this thing was a first-level ferocious beast, its defense strength was much more abnormal than that of the previous white ape. It can be said that almost all of its attributes are focused on defense. It is a ferocious beast with lazy herbivorous nature, often hibernates, and so on. Fortunately, Ye Chen possessed medium sharp gold and medium fire elements, and using the 2 elements together took a lot of effort to accomplish. But the talent he gained also made him quite happy. Congratulations on reaching 100% of the first-level green rock turtle. Drop elementary earth element rock armor talent. You possess the elementary earth hardening talent, which is automatically fused into 2 elementary earth rockification talents. It's even harder. The size of the earth elemental force vortex in the body did not change much, but the color became obviously much richer. Rockification talent. Ye Chen raised his hand, his mind moved slightly, and the brown earth element Yuanli in his body covered him. In an instant, the skin on his arm turned the color of bluestone. It's like, it's been dyed with a layer of armed color. And unlike ordinary rocks which are brittle and dry, this kind of rock will still retain some of its skin toughness after being petrified. Bang bang! Ye Chen picked up the long knife and chopped it on his arm, which made a sound like hitting stones and even produced some sparks. This defense is several levels stronger than hardened armor. It's incredible. It also consumes a lot of earth energy in my body, but, a real man is tough. Ye Chen was in a very good mood. This was definitely a pleasant surprise. I wonder if I can upgrade this earth element talent to a higher level and turn it into diamond? Or even something harder. At that time, the body will be sanctified directly. Ye Chen, don't! Hearing a groaning sound behind him, Ye Chen returned to normal and walked quickly. Lu Yuan woke up. She looked at her bandaged body in astonishment, then saw that Ye Chen's clothes had been changed, and then looked at the swollen leg, which had also been smeared with wound medicine. Her pretty face suddenly turned red, and the look she gave Ye Chen was so soft that it seemed like she was drunk. Are you awake? I bandaged your wound. If I don't treat it in the wild, I'm afraid it might get infected. No, it's okay, thank you. Lu Yuan's face flushed red. She regretted why she fainted and couldn't see Ye Chen save her with her own eyes. Wait, he seemed to have killed a second-level ferocious beast? Good, so strong. Are they really the same age? Ye Chen suddenly frowned, looked into the distance, then flew over, grabbed Lu Yuan by the armpit, ran quickly and jumped high, and with his other hand he supported himself on the ruins of the building, and actually jumped with Lu Yuan onto a concrete frame that was 14 or 15 feet high. Lie! Ye Chen made a gesture to keep quiet, but Lu Yuan felt like he was about to faint. The other person's hot chest and the strong masculine scent he exuded made her heart flutter. She hugged Ye Chen's waist tightly with her fair hands for fear of falling off. But the next second, Lu Yuan's pupils trembled violently, and her pretty face looked down with a pale face. Rumble! Rumble! In the distance, you can see smoke and dust billowing, and a spotted python-like creature with a peacock-like tail is chasing a human. The so-called peacock tail actually stretched out vines, which were covered with corpses of humans and demons, as well as several official warriors who were screaming. The one running away first was He Guangzheng. But when He Guangzheng approached the ruins, he plunged in, and then his breath disappeared strangely. Ancient breath-containing technique, minor success. This is He Guangzheng's ability. Roar, roar, roar. The corpses of several ferocious beasts controlled by the magic pattern ghost vines roared incessantly, and they actually lost sight of He Guangzheng in an instant. He Guangzheng, who was hiding in the ruins, was gritting his teeth with cold sweat on his forehead. The wound on his leg had been burned with fire to stop the bleeding. After the ancient breath-concealing technique was activated, even the sound of his heartbeat disappeared, as if it did not exist. Fortunately, I have this special breath-concealing technique, otherwise I would not be able to escape today. But that damn kid actually killed his own brother He Weiqiang. At the moment of escaping, he caught a glimpse of the dead bodies of Molly and He Weiqiang in the weeds. When he escaped, he would definitely kill that little guy named Ye Chen. My luck was so bad this time that I almost had a car accident. He Guang was like a poisonous snake hiding in the darkness, with a vicious look in his eyes. High in the ruins. Ye Chen naturally saw a panel in the ruins very clearly. He Guangzhen's panel. This guy was hiding under the ruins. Unfortunately, he met himself, who also possessed the breath-concealing technique, and was even a cheating version of himself. Whether it's a ferocious beast or a human, trying to hide from him, is simply a joke. The demonic ghost vine roared angrily. It couldn't find the corpses of the ferocious beasts it controlled. It roared a few times and prepared to leave. He Guangzheng felt relieved when he heard the noise. Finally, I escaped from the tiger's mouth. There are too many corpses controlled by this magic pattern ghost vine, which is definitely comparable to a third-level ferocious beast. Even if there is no such thing, it is at least a monster with health level of 80 or 90 cards. However, as long as he leaves and spreads the news that there is a magic pattern ghost vine here, he can also earn a lot of money, because this thing is extremely expensive in the black market. Bang! Sudden! A loud bang was heard, waking He Guangzheng, who was dreaming, up suddenly, and all the hairs on his body stood up instantly. He suddenly realized something and his scalp went numb. Because, this damn explosion sounded from right next to me. Depend on. Damn it! A fist-sized stone from nowhere hit He Guangzhen's ruins, smashing the stone slab he was hiding on, and then he was thus exposed to the sight of the demonic pattern ghost vine. Grass! He Guangzheng was immediately shocked and furious. He wanted to skin and rip off the guy who deliberately exposed himself. At this moment, he suddenly saw a blurry figure appear in front of him. Mist Blade minor success. Multiple Shadow Blades minor achievement. In the misty fog, you can see the sound of numerous sword shadows breaking through the air and falling head-on. Moreover, each knife shadow was aimed directly at his vital points. He Guang was racking his brains at this moment, but he couldn't figure out when he had such a big mortal enemy after living in hiding for his whole life. He had to raise his gun to fight back. Mine clang 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 clang. Every attack from the opponent was so powerful that He Guangzheng even felt like his spear was about to be knocked away. He is definitely a high-level formal warrior. Who is it? But before he had time to think, he felt a sharp pain behind him. The tentacles of the demonic ghost vine had already arrived, and even a branch hit his shoulder. Damn it! He Guangzheng swung his gun across, cutting off the vines and the corpse of a ferocious beast that were attacking him from behind, but the figure in front of him turned into water mist. Ye Chen had already left quietly, and even touched the demonic pattern ghost vine when passing by. Ding! Special second level demonic plant beast demonic pattern ghost vine shadow extraction successfully. A voice like the sound of nature rang in Ye Chen's mind. Ye Chen had no intention of delaying at all. He took a few steps to create distance, then jumped high over the ruins, grabbed Lu Yuan who was hiding above, and ran away with his men. It's you! Damn BD! I'm going to tear you into pieces! He Guangzheng finally saw clearly that the person who attacked him was actually the little devil he had originally planned on. I didn't expect that after hunting for a lifetime, I would end up having my eye pecked by an eagle. He thinks he's quite the dog. But the other party is even worse. No, the combat power this kid just displayed is definitely comparable to that of a high-level official warrior. But at his age, he definitely couldn't reach this level. It was very likely that he had used some secret medicine or secret method to forcibly improve himself, so he had to escape. He Guangzheng figured it out instantly, but now he has been entangled by the devilish ghost vine. He roared like an angry lion and waved his gun wildly. He even had to take out a crimson pill from his chest. Bokyukatsumaru. This can forcibly increase a person's combat power and achieve a short-term burst effect, but it will have powerful sequelae and may even affect future potential, and may even cause direct disability. This was his last trump card, but in this situation, he had to use it. Boom! After He Guangzheng swallowed the pill, his skin instantly turned red, his eyes were filled with bloodshot, and a layer of blood mist-like energy emerged around his body, which forcibly blew away the vines and even shattered the vines rooted in his flesh. But the devilish vine wrapped around it more and more crazily, and the two became entangled together. In a hollow tree hole 5 kilometers away, Lu Yuan looked at Ye Chen with nervous worry on her pretty face, tightly gripping her sword. She was ready to protect Ye Chen, even at the cost of her own life. After running wildly, Ye Chen was exhausted. He found an excuse that he needed to rest and opened the shadow space directly in the tree hole. Ding! Shadow space opens. Ding! Select 10% of the target demonic pattern ghost vines, select the burial site. Shadow, special level 2 demonic pattern ghost vine. Attributes, 99.2 cards. Talent, medium spiritual talent. Talent, low-level devouring talent. Talent, low-level puppet talent. Combat skills, level 2 puppetry, level 2 mental stab, level 2 parasitic infection. As expected of a special beast, this faceplate is incredibly gorgeous. And it's a rare spiritual type. Ye Chen was pleasantly surprised. This guy is already infinitely close to a third-level ferocious beast. As long as his blood and chi exceed 100 cards, he can basically be considered a third-level ferocious beast. The talents are also really exaggerated: spirit, devouring, and puppet. All of them are rare talents. If they must be rated, they are probably equivalent to epic talents. But the 10% demonic pattern ghost vine is quite weak, with less than 10 cards of health. The battle was not resolved in 10 seconds. Ye Chen directly drew his sword and slashed, but this guy's blood volume was beyond imagination. The advantage of his huge size was obvious, and he had no absolute weaknesses. No wonder this thing could destroy the entire city. In other words, this guy's fatal point is actually in a special core. It is difficult to die unless the core is destroyed. So I cut a few more times. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out 10% of the demonic pattern ghost vine. Ding! HP dropped 2.2. Ding! Talent dropped. 10% of the shadows actually have a talent. What a great luck! Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the low-level devouring talent. Ding! Chi and blood 2.2 cards automatically merged. The system sound rang out. A warm current instantly surged through my body, and my blood and chi reached an astonishing 31.7 calories. The whole body feels comfortable and warm as never before. A new line of text appeared on the property panel. Devouring talent, low, the efficiency of food absorption and conversion is greatly improved, including the ability to quickly recover physical strength through devouring. It's a very simple explanation, but it doesn't mean that this ability is weak, quite the opposite. This is definitely an exaggerated ability. Even if it is just a low-level devouring talent, it can greatly improve Ye Chen's food conversion efficiency, especially when he consumes too much physical strength in battle. He can quickly recover by devouring food. Ordinary people still need to digest it in the stomach before they can obtain it. Even for things like qi and blood pills, ordinary warriors can absorb 1 energy, but Ye Chen, who has a low-level devouring talent, can absorb 5 energy from the same pill. Moreover, this kind of talent cannot be acquired through acquired practice. As expected of a rare demon species. It's as powerful as opening a golden treasure chest. Keep grinding the remaining talents. Ye Chen did not stop and continued to kill monsters in the shadow space. Challenge the target level 40%, choose the burial ground. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out 40% of the demonic pattern Ghost Vine, dropping 1.5 HP cards. Challenge target 50% level. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out. A full half-hour passed. During this period, 80% of the time, Ye Chen got the medium puppet talent. Medium puppet talent can use one's own energy to transform into silk threads to control the target's limbs within a certain range. If the target is stronger than oneself, the control effect will be weakened. The number of targets controlled depends on one's own mental strength. This talent is really special. Anyway, when it comes to skills, it's always better to have more than one, and no one will look down on anyone else. Although he had talent, he couldn't use it all at once without combat skills. 90% of the time, Ye Chen got puppetry. Then, challenge 100% Ghost Eye Demon Vine, choose the ruins and boneyard. The picture flashed. This time, what appeared in front of Ye Chen was the Ghost Eye Demon Vine in 100% prime condition. Qi and blood are infinitely close to 100 calories. The peak, perfect, extreme, second level top level ferocious beast, use the dog's head to save your life. But this time Ye Chen is completely different. Puppet talent, medium. Combat skills, puppetry. The devouring talent cannot directly increase combat power, but it greatly improves Ye Chen's endurance. Multiple shadow blades. Mist knife. Fire source power blessing. Blessing with sharp gold energy. Rock transforming elemental energy defense. Water elemental power spreads the mist. In an instant, the battlefield became Ye Chen's home court. The striped branches of the demonic ghost vine slapped Ye Chen's skin, but only left a white mark. The roots cannot take root at all, and the parasitism is ineffective. Sure enough, 2 copies of the elementary earth hardening talent can resist this guy's parasitism. Ye Chen understood. It can be said that a large part of the strength of the demonic pattern ghost vine lies in the fact that its vines can parasitize on this guy. Once the skin is broken, the roots will quickly spread towards the blood, and then drain the target's body, which is quite terrifying. But Ye Chen is now like a stone man, his body surface has turned directly into rock, and his defense is amazing. The parasitic effect it prides itself on is completely ineffective. Even an elite warrior who is comparable to a third-level ferocious beast, his own physical defense strength is definitely far inferior to Ye Chen. However, they can cover the surface of their bodies with energy to achieve the same defensive effect, but in terms of energy saving and convenience, they are naturally not as good as talent. The demonic ghost vine obviously did not expect that the figure in front of it would be as hard and smelly as a stone. Even in the shadow space, the corpse of the ferocious beast hanging on this guy was projected in. It seems that this is also part of its combat power. The corpses of these ferocious beasts roared and were controlled by the vines behind them like puppets, attacking Ye Chen frantically. Double speed talent. Medium strength talent. Moreover, after the ferocious beast dies and turns into a puppet, its combat power is naturally not as strong as when it was alive. It cannot use any combat skills at all and relies purely on instinct to fight. It may also be that the IQ of this demonic pattern ghost vine guy is too low, and he is unable to perform the 1000 machine transformation, so he just swarmed over all at once. It's a good time to try out my puppetry skills. Control. Ye Chen ducked to avoid the attack of a ferocious beast, swung his sword and directly cut off the vines behind the guy, and then instantly connected to the other party with a spiritual thread that was invisible to the naked eye. This feeling is like holding a game controller. Then, roar! The corpse of the ferocious beast controlled by Ye Chen's puppetry roared, bit the ferocious beast that attacked Ye Chen from behind, and directly bit off the other's neck. As the rebellious puppet beasts appeared in the team, the demonic pattern ghost vine roared continuously because it found that it was gradually losing control over these corpses. Every time the opponent attacked, he would directly cut off his own vines and then seize control of these corpses. With his double elementary speed talent, Ye Chen avoided most of its attacks. Even if some attacks landed on him, they were blocked by his rock-like defense, and the damage caused was very limited. And as the battle continued, the number of puppet beasts in Ye Chen's camp continued to increase. 10 minutes later. Roar, roar, roar! The demonic ghost vine in the shadow space roared angrily. At this moment, it was like a lion being besieged by a group of hyenas. Those puppet corpses originally belonged to him, but at this moment they had all been snatched away by Ye Chen. And it is also possible to carry out different attacks from various angles with simple coordination. When I first played Real 3, I was operating on 3 lines. Now, there are only a dozen more, and I can barely control them. Ye Chen, the man behind the scenes, even kept his distance, his eyes excited and his brain aching slightly. Puppetry consumes a lot of mental energy, especially under multi-line control. But now it's almost there. After fighting for another 5 minutes, the furious demonic ghost vine finally smashed all the puppet corpses into pieces, making it impossible to control them anymore, but it was also covered in wounds. Roar! It roared and screamed angrily, its ferocious eyes open and filled with hatred and rage. But it soon became confused because it could no longer find Ye Chen. Here! Ye Chen's voice suddenly sounded from mid-air. The sword in his hand was burning with blazing flames, as if it was a hot iron sword that had just been forged from a steel blast furnace. Fire multiple shadow blades. Fire mist blade. Cut. Boom. The hot air waves rolled up, and like a flaming blade from the sky, it pierced into the body of the demonic pattern ghost vine from top to bottom. Then split it in half from beginning to end. Ding! Congratulations on reaching 100% status on the Tier 2 Special Beast, Demonic Pattern Ghost Vine Shadow. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the Chi and Health 2.1 card. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the low-level telekinesis talent. Ding! You've opened a new attribute panel. Congratulations on obtaining the special profession, the Spiritualist Attribute panel. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the combat skill, Telekinetic Stab. Ding! Parasitic infection drops cannot be fused and will be automatically eliminated. A series of system prompts sounded in my mind. The dead demonic ghost vine in the shadow space exploded. Ye Chen clearly felt a stream of heat flowing into his body. It was the feeling of his chi and blood growing rapidly. The total time spent on clearing the demonic pattern ghost vine did not exceed 40 minutes. Especially when he finally obtained the low-level telekinesis talent, Ye Chen felt his head burning and painful as if it was about to burst. But this painful feeling came and went quickly, and soon turned into an unprecedented refreshing feeling. Then an indescribable special feeling emerged. He opened his eyes. She suddenly saw Lu Yuan looking at this place with great nervousness and worry, and her pretty face turned red instantly when she looked into her open eyes. However, Ye Chen was surprised to find that as his thoughts moved slightly, a piece of broken wood in the tree hole behind Lu Yuan automatically floated up. It can actually perform mind control. Is this a spiritualist? Ye Chen was extremely surprised. If warriors are considered the upper-class profession of human beings, then once you become a warrior, it is equivalent to stepping into the elite society. Perhaps only 1 out of 100 ordinary people has the talent to practice and step into the ranks of formal warriors. But the spiritual master? Only 1 out of 10,000 warriors will appear. It is so rare that it is not an exaggeration to call it a noble profession. Any spiritualist is a favorite of the Martial Arts Association, and is also the target of countless dark forces that will fight for it by any means necessary. Because the spiritual master is too strong, he is absolutely invincible in the same realm. For example, even now, Ye Chen has just obtained the talent of telekinesis and awakened the dual professional attributes of a psychic, but he can control some tiny fragments to carry out attacks within a certain range. This has not been tried specifically, so the specific effect cannot be determined. But this is definitely something that a regular warrior, even an elite warrior, cannot do. Control objects with telekinesis. What if this fragment was replaced with a poisoned steel needle? Or something else? It would be impossible to defend against it. Moreover, the psychic can also directly perform mental thrust attacks. The attacked target will fall into a brief state of loss of control and severe pain, which is absolutely fatal in combat. The problem is that things like spirit are very difficult to cultivate after birth, unless it is promoted to a more amazing martial arts realm, but that is also a super late stage. So, the profession of psychic is almost a natural leader and a darling. Ye Chen didn't expect that this demonic pattern ghost vine could actually give him such a surprise. But he suddenly realized. He had heard about the sky-high price of this magic plant in the black market before. Rumor has it that the core of this magic plant can provide special materials that can enhance the spirit, so it is fought over. It is a treasure that countless spiritualists dream of. In order to win over spiritual masters, many top forces have launched various astonishingly high-priced auctions. I didn't expect that this would be such a good deal for me. Low-level telekinesis talent. Presumably, there are other ferocious beasts in this world that also possess the gift of telekinesis, and there are also true spiritualists. Having this low-level telekinesis talent means that he has obtained a ticket to enter the circle of spiritualists. Once he has entered this circle. He. All of you psychics are geniuses, and your talents are all mine. Ye Chen couldn't help but feel a little excited. Now his attribute panel is completely new. Host, Ye Chen. Qi and blood, 35.4 calories. Reputation, newcomer, 187/1000. Unique, shadow extraction LV2, 1/2 remaining slots. Cultivation talent, super 3.1%. Elemental talents, medium fire element, medium water element, medium gold element sharp gold, double primary earth element rock. Speed talent, double elementary. Strength talent, medium. Boxing talent, medium. Knife skill talent, medium. Puppet talent, medium. Shadow talent, elementary. Healing talent, elementary. Disguise talent, elementary. Devouring talent, elementary. Telekinesis talent, elementary. Occupation, first level spiritualist. Telekinesis, 1.4 Hz. Skill, mental stab. Technique, level 1, 18 body tempering techniques, perfect, level 2, rock body tempering technique, minor success ++. Combat skills, first level ultimate collapse fist, great mastery plus, first level phantom step, great mastery, first level multiple shadow blade, minor mastery, first level mist blade, minor mastery, first level flame fist, proficient, first level punch, proficient, first level sky breaking sword, beginner, first level throat cutting, minor mastery, second level formation breaking spear, proficient, ancient breathing technique, proficient, first level bowl trampling, proficient. Precision shooting, second level puppetry. Absolutely gorgeous properties panel. Who would believe, this is a panel a high school student could have. Level 3 official warrior. His real combat power is comparable to that of an elite warrior. Yeah, Ye Chen, are you feeling better? Lu Yuan's worried voice woke Ye Chen up. This beautiful and talented student from Nanjing No. 1 Middle School was looking at him with a blushing face. At that moment, Lu Yuan was swept by Ye Chen's gaze, and she actually felt a sense of awe. This feeling has only been felt by the school principal. It is caused by the huge gap in strength between the two sides. But before, I also thought that the difference in strength between the two sides was huge, and I was even used to it. But now, why do I find it even more awe-inspiring? Could it be that Ye Chen suddenly became stronger again? It's okay, you stay here, I'll go take care of some things. Ye Chen casually took out a ration pill from his pocket. This was a food to fill the stomach. But after eating it, he suddenly felt something warm in his stomach, like a burning furnace. Elementary devouring talent. Soon he felt his strength restored after digesting the Bingliang pills. Normally, ordinary warriors would need to slowly recover their physical strength after taking a Bingliang pill, but now Ye Chen has the devouring talent, and Bingliang pills can be used as an extremely expensive instant physical strength recovery potion. The effect is so strong. Ye Chen was so excited that he jumped out of the tree hole. Lu Yuan wanted to call him from behind, but in the end he could only see Ye Chen's figure disappearing into the dense woods. Will he forget himself? Lu Yuan suddenly became worried for no reason. But Ye Chen quickly returned along the same path. Revenge never waits overnight. He didn't like being remembered by He Guangzheng. If this guy was dead, he would go and take a look to help him destroy the body. If he was not dead, that would be perfect too. Help him die. In the ruins, He Guang was waving a blood-red spear and roaring angrily. Every strike of his unleashed a blood-red slashing wave. This is the release of energy that only elite warriors can do, but after taking the banned drugs, He Guangzhen's condition was temporarily improved. Now he is comparable to elite warriors. The appearance of this devilish ghost vine at this moment was quite miserable. The branches on its body fell to the ground in pieces, and the corpse of the ferocious beast it controlled was even more dilapidated. One after another, crimson blood holes appeared. All of this was caused by being pierced by a spear. However, as a ferocious beast, this guy has thick skin and flesh, even though he suffered such serious injuries. He didn't die immediately. He Guangzhen's situation is not ideal either. There was almost no good spot on his body. All of them are hideous wounds. However, he had to attach most of his energy to the surface of his body to resist the parasitic vines. Otherwise, it won't take long before he becomes a puppet like the corpses of those ferocious beasts. Roar! He Guangzheng, who looked already extremely weak, suddenly jumped up. A blood moon slashing wave that was nearly 3 meters wide suddenly flashed by. The devilish ghost vine was instantly split into two and turned into a corpse falling to the ground on the spot. A strange green gem suddenly appeared in the body that was cut into 2 pieces. This is a green jade crystal. The core of the demonic pattern ghost vine. Rumor has it that it's a favorite of psychics. The price of this thing on the black market is even over 5 million, and there's still no one in demand. Seeing this scene, He Guangzheng even forgot the pain in his body. His breathing became heavy and his eyes were full of heat. I didn't expect that my luck was so good. Although this time because of taking the banned drug blood strengthening pill, he will be in a weak state for a long time afterwards. But if you can get this green jade crystal, then all the efforts will be worth it. He Guangzhen's chest was gasping for breath, his whole body was drenched in sweat, and even blood was flowing from his nose. The effect of the bloodthirst pill was slowly fading, and he wanted to take the green jade crystal directly. But suddenly he saw a figure passing by in front of him. Then the other party actually took away the core of the magic pattern ghost vine. Damn it! How dare you steal my things? Stay here! He Guangzheng roared and swept the spear in his hand down. Bang! The opponent simply drew the sword at his waist to block. Instead, he took advantage of the momentum of his attack and flew backwards, increasing the distance between them. Who are you? I just killed this beast with great effort. What is the meaning of your sudden attack? Aren't you afraid of being investigated by the Martial Arts Association? He Guangzheng gritted his teeth, tightly gripping his spear and trying desperately to recover his strength quickly. He was filled with hatred. In order to kill this devilish ghost vine, I almost died here. But this guy is trying to come over and pick peaches now. Oh? Captain He, you really are a forgetful person. Didn't we just say hello? How come you forgot about me? I also want to thank you for the mark you put on me, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get it back so quickly. If I remember correctly, this should be called green jade crystal, right? The black market price. Oh, I saw it, the current selling price is over 7 million. Thank you so much, Captain He. Ye Chen smiled as he played with the core of the ferocious beast demon pattern ghost vine in his hand. It's you. He Guangzhen's expression instantly became extremely gloomy. He didn't expect that the small ant he thought he could kill at will would now snatch away the fruits of his victory. This was a ferocious beast that he had killed at almost every cost. And he didn't expect that the other party actually noticed his mark. The face is completely torn. Then there is no need to give face anymore. Then go to hell. While the effect of the blood-raging pill is still there, He Guangzhen's strength is still barely maintained at the elite warrior level. He has absolute confidence that he can kill his opponent with one shot. When, as he stared in disbelief, the spear came down with tremendous force. It was actually blocked by the standard long sword in the opponent's hand. How is that possible? My current combat power is definitely over 1,000. Didn't this brat just become a formal warrior? If I remember correctly, he should be a first-level official warrior. A weakling with a combat power of around 100. But the force from his arm caused He Guangzheng severe pain in the palm of his hand. The opponent's pure strength is definitely not inferior to mine. He Guangzheng was extremely shocked. He is now in the bloodthirsty pill state, which means, this kid, is not a formal warrior. Is he an elite warrior? How is that possible? A guy who likes to play the pig and eat the tiger even more than me? What a shame, so disappointing. The so-called 50 calories of qi and blood. Oh, no, it should be a special state now. But that's all. Ye Chen shook his head in disappointment. Now his qi and blood have reached 35.4 calories, the level of an intermediate formal warrior. But with the blessing of numerous talents, his combat power directly broke through the 1,000 mark. Even if he doesn't take medicine, he is still an elite warrior. Not to mention, there is also the dual profession of psychic. Impossible. You must have used some trick just now. Die. He Guang was roaring angrily, his eyes red. He absolutely couldn't believe that he, who had been pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger all his life, would one day be eaten by someone else. The energy and blood in his body surged again, but the moment he raised his spear, a mental spike that was invisible to the naked eye suddenly flashed by. He Guangzheng just felt that a huge threat was approaching, but he was already in a state of anger and had no time to react. Only a soft puff sound was heard. Then, the old silver coin player stood still as if he had been petrified. Still maintaining the action of swinging the spear to attack. His eyes were wide open, and his face was filled with anger and surprise. Next second. Bang! He Guangzhen's head exploded like a watermelon. I can't die anymore. The corpse, with only half of its head left, fell to the ground with a loud bang. Ye Chen also felt bursts of stabbing pain in his head, which was a sign of excessive mental energy consumption. But when Ye Chen saw He Guangzhen's body in front of him, he couldn't help but feel shocked. This is a formal warrior with more than 50 cards of qi and blood. Caught off guard, he was killed by a mental attack from himself, a first-level psychic. According to my current telekinesis, I can release 2 mental thrusts. No wonder psychics are a special profession that is even rarer than warriors. He is truly invincible in the same realm. Just as Ye Chen was sighing with emotion, he was suddenly surprised to feel a strange warmth coming from the palm of his hand. In the ruins, He Guang was waving a blood-red spear and roaring angrily. Every strike of his unleashed a blood-red slashing wave. This is the release of energy that only elite warriors can do, but after taking the banned drugs, He Guangzhen's condition was temporarily improved. Now he is comparable to elite warriors. The appearance of this devilish ghost vine at this moment was quite miserable. The branches on its body fell to the ground in pieces, and the corpse of the ferocious beast it controlled was even more dilapidated. One after another, crimson blood holes appeared. All of this was caused by being pierced by a spear. However, as a ferocious beast, this guy has thick skin and flesh, even though he suffered such serious injuries. He didn't die immediately. He Guangzhen's situation is not ideal either. There was almost no good spot on his body. All of them are hideous wounds. However, he had to attach most of his energy to the surface of his body to resist the parasitic vines. Otherwise, it won't take long before he becomes a puppet like the corpses of those ferocious beasts. Roar! He Guangzheng, who looked already extremely weak, suddenly jumped up. A blood moon slashing wave that was nearly 3 meters wide suddenly flashed by. The devilish ghost vine was instantly split into two and turned into a corpse falling to the ground on the spot. A strange green gem suddenly appeared in the body that was cut into two pieces. This is a green jade crystal. The core of the demonic pattern ghost vine. Rumor has it that it's a favorite of psychics. The price of this thing on the black market is even over 5 million, and there's still no one in demand. Seeing this scene, He Guangzheng even forgot the pain in his body. His breathing became heavy and his eyes were full of heat. I didn't expect that my luck was so good. Although this time because of taking the banned drug blood strengthening pill, he will be in a weak state for a long time afterwards. But if you can get this green jade crystal, then all the efforts will be worth it. He Guangzhen's chest was gasping for breath, his whole body was drenched in sweat, and even blood was flowing from his nose. The effect of the bloodthirst pill was slowly fading, and he wanted to take the green jade crystal directly. But suddenly he saw a figure passing by in front of him. Then the other party actually took away the core of the magic pattern ghost vine. Damn it! How dare you steal my things? Stay here! He Guangzheng roared and swept the spear in his hand down. Bang! The opponent simply drew the sword at his waist to block. Instead, he took advantage of the momentum of his attack and flew backwards, increasing the distance between them. Who are you? I just killed this beast with great effort. What is the meaning of your sudden attack? Aren't you afraid of being investigated by the Martial Arts Association? He Guangzheng gritted his teeth, tightly gripping his spear and trying desperately to recover his strength quickly. He was filled with hatred. In order to kill this devilish ghost vine, I almost died here. But this guy is trying to come over and pick peaches now. Oh? Captain He, you really are a forgetful person. Didn't we just say hello? How come you forgot about me? I also want to thank you for the mark you put on me, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get it back so quickly. If I remember correctly, this should be called green jade crystal, right? The black market price. Oh, I saw it, the current selling price is over 7 million. Thank you so much, Captain He. Ye Chen smiled as he played with the core of the ferocious beast demon pattern ghost vine in his hand. It's you. He Guangzhen's expression instantly became extremely gloomy. He didn't expect that the small ant he thought he could kill at will would now snatch away the fruits of his victory. This was a ferocious beast that he had killed at almost every cost. And he didn't expect that the other party actually noticed his mark. The face is completely torn. Then there is no need to give face anymore. Then go to hell. While the effect of the blood-raging pill is still there, He Guangzhen's strength is still barely maintained at the elite warrior level. He has absolute confidence that he can kill his opponent with one shot. When? As he stared in disbelief, the spear came down with tremendous force. It was actually blocked by the standard long sword in the opponent's hand. How is that possible? My current combat power is definitely over 1,000. Didn't this brat just become a formal warrior? If I remember correctly, he should be a first-level official warrior. A weakling with a combat power of around 100. But the force from his arm caused He Guangzheng severe pain in the palm of his hand. The opponent's pure strength is definitely not inferior to mine. He Guangzheng was extremely shocked. He is now in the bloodthirsty pill state, which means, this kid, is not a formal warrior. Is he an elite warrior? How is that possible? A guy who likes to play the pig and eat the tiger even more than me? What a shame, so disappointing. The so-called 50 calories of qi and blood. Oh, no, it should be a special state now. But that's all. Ye Chen shook his head in disappointment. Now his qi and blood have reached 35.4 calories, the level of an intermediate formal warrior. But with the blessing of numerous talents, his combat power directly broke through the 1,000 mark. Even if he doesn't take medicine, he is still an elite warrior. Not to mention, there is also the dual profession of psychic. Impossible. You must have used some trick just now. Die! He Guang was roaring angrily, his eyes red. He absolutely couldn't believe that he, who had been pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger all his life, would one day be eaten by someone else. The energy and blood in his body surged again, but the moment he raised his spear, a mental spike that was invisible to the naked eye suddenly flashed by. He Guangzheng just felt that a huge threat was approaching, but he was already in a state of anger and had no time to react. Only a soft puff sound was heard. Then, the old silver coin player stood still as if he had been petrified, still maintaining the action of swinging the spear to attack. His eyes were wide open, and his face was filled with anger and surprise. Next second, bang! He Guangzhen's head exploded like a watermelon. I can't die anymore. The corpse, with only half of its head left, fell to the ground with a loud bang. Ye Chen also felt bursts of stabbing pain in his head, which was a sign of excessive mental energy consumption. But when Ye Chen saw He Guangzhen's body in front of him, he couldn't help but feel shocked. This is a formal warrior with more than 50 cards of qi and blood. Caught off guard, he was killed by a mental attack from himself, a first-level psychic. According to my current telekinesis, I can release 2 mental thrusts. No wonder psychics are a special profession that is even rarer than warriors. He is truly invincible in the same realm. Just as Ye Chen was sighing with emotion, he was suddenly surprised to feel a strange warmth coming from the palm of his hand. This is... Ye Chen discovered that the warm feeling came from the green jade crystal in the palm of his hand. He could actually see the existence of a strange transparent liquid in the crystal. Spiritual essence. Rumor has it that the green jade crystal is so sought after because it contains a very rare spiritual essence. This thing can increase the strength of telekinesis. Ye Chen suddenly realized. The method of using the spiritual essence is also very simple, just take it directly. He Guangzheng worked hard all his life and even sacrificed half his life. In the end, all of it ended up being his own doing. It seems that the shadow space still has flaws. It can't drop the spiritual essence. This thing originally belonged to the demonic pattern Ghost Vine. Walking directly to the ruins nearby, Ye Chen didn't hesitate to smash the green jade crystal. This thing is like an eggshell. It breaks with a slight touch, and then a faint fragrance spreads easily, with a transparent liquid flowing inside. Gurgle gurgle. Ye Chen chose to drink directly. The spirit essence has a slightly cool feeling and a light sweetness when it enters the mouth. But the next moment, it was as if a ball of fire was burning in the abdominal cavity, and it was as terrifying as swallowing magma. Even Ye Chen couldn't help but feel hot all over. Low-level devouring talent automatically takes effect. The heat that was originally enough to cause pain was quickly decomposed and dissipated. It seemed to turn into a warm current and flow into my mind. My whole brain feels warm. Ye Chen clearly saw that the telekinesis attribute on his panel was increasing rapidly. Plus 0.2 Hz of telekinesis. Plus 0.18 Hz of telekinesis. Plus 0.15 Hz telekinesis. Final. Ye Chen opened his eyes, and a gleam of brilliance flashed in his eyes. The telekinesis was fixed at 4.2 Hz. Equivalent to a 4th-level trainee psychic. The number of mental spikes that can be released has increased dramatically to 6. Besides, Ye Chen's mind moved slightly, and he concentrated his mental power on his sword. Moment. The sword automatically flew out of the scabbard, and then swayed in the air. The movements went from being clumsy at first to becoming smoother and smoother later on. It's as exaggerated as sword wielding. Telekinesis control the sword. This is a move developed by Ye Chen himself. Telekinesis can do more than just release mental thrusts. Can also be used to manipulate other items. It would be best to create some flying knives, special steel needles, or something like that. Using telekinesis to control them would make them truly unstoppable. Unfortunately, my current level of telekinesis is not yet able to support me in flying. Ye Chen's mind moved slightly, and the long sword automatically returned to its sheath. Ye Chen! Ye Chen! At this time, Lu Yuan's call came from a distance. The somewhat disheveled girl chased after him, sword in hand, her chest heaving violently and sweat dripping down her face. It was obvious that she was trying hard to catch up along the way. But by the time she arrived, the battle was over. Her pretty face was pale as she looked at the bodies lying on the ground, searching desperately, hoping to find Ye Chen. He was even more shocked when he saw He Guangzheng, whose head was half blown off. But it looked like he died at the hands of a ferocious beast. Na Ye Chen? Lu Yuan was so anxious that he was about to cry. Ahem, it's time to go. The mission is almost complete. A familiar voice came from behind. Lu Yuan turned around and saw Ye Chen. Her beautiful eyes suddenly turned red. Leave. Ye Chen didn't like watching this scene, so he turned around and left. Wait for me. Ye Chen. Lu Yuan followed after him. More than an hour after they left the ruins, two figures wearing black cloaks appeared. The demonic pattern ghost vine has been cultivated almost to its full potential. After swallowing this group of people, it should evolve into a third-order ferocious beast. Then we can carry out Lord Shadow's plan. One of the men in black robes said excitedly. Hehe, in order to cultivate this thing, we have spent a lot of energy in this remote little place for the past 6 months issuing commissions. We must have a good time when the time comes. I heard that after this demonic pattern ghost vine breaks through to the 3rd level, there's hope of awakening the rare dark priest profession, which is on the same level as those spiritualists. I wonder which believer will be able to gain the favor of Lord Shadow. The two men in black robes were talking. They didn't dare to leak any information about the demonic pattern ghost vine, so they deliberately chose a small city like Nanchang, and also chose an ordinary ferocious beast mission. Normally speaking, any warrior who takes on this mission will have no chance of survival. Once they have devoured a certain number of ferocious beasts and warriors, they will transfer the demonic pattern ghost vine to other small cities to issue similar tasks. It snowballs little by little. There has been no failures so far. Currently, the demonic pattern ghost vine is only one step away from breaking through to the 3rd level. Then, suddenly, they saw the body of the demonic pattern ghost vine cut in half. There was also the broken corpse of the ferocious beast on the ground. The two black-robed men's heads buzzed and they couldn't utter a word. The two of them looked stupidly at the corpse of the ferocious beast that they had secretly cultivated with countless efforts. No, damn it! Who killed the demonic pattern ghost vine? The two men in black robes felt like they were about to collapse in anger. It took them nearly 3 years to cultivate this demonic pattern ghost vine to the 2nd level. Now, all efforts failed at the last moment. Damn it! It's the aura of the blood rage pill. There are warriors who have used the blood rage pill. But even so, they will never be a match for the demonic pattern ghost vine. A man in black robe was shocked and furious. That old BD! Someone is definitely playing dumb and trying to eat the tiger. It's over. We're completely finished. The core green jade crystal has been taken away. Lord Shadow will definitely kill us. The other person's words sent chills down their spines. No, we bring the body of the demonic pattern ghost vine back. Lord Shadow can then trace the breath of the person who killed the demonic pattern ghost vine. Then I will kill his entire family. The two men in black robes gnashed their teeth, filled with hatred. MVP settlement. He Guangzhen's corpse. The lobby of the South City Warrior Association. Sir, this is your mission settlement. The relevant rewards have been transferred into your account. Your association level has also been upgraded. You can check it at any time. The staff member said with a smile on his face. There were considerable casualties in this mission, and the association has arranged personnel to check it out, but that is a story for later. Ye Chen just collected some materials of ferocious beasts along the way and completed a commission by the way. Unexpectedly, he received a reward of 120,000 yuan. It turns out that warriors make money at a speed that ordinary people can't even catch up with. By the way, sir, Captain Han Qing of the Wolf Fang Squad and his team have returned. They are recruiting new members. If you are interested, you can find them in room 122 on the 2nd floor. Thinking of something, the staff reminded. I'm so lucky. I didn't expect Han Qing to come back already, and there's a vacant seat for me. Ye Chen was delighted and went directly to the training area on the second floor of the association. Lu Yuan behind him stared blankly at his back. Room 122 on the second floor. The atmosphere is a bit depressing. There are only 3 left of the former 4-man team, and the team member who used the dagger is no longer there. Han Qing, the team leader, and his colleagues looked quite tired at the moment. "Captain, please accept my condolences. Eagle won't blame us." The sturdy shield man Gangza comforted him. "Yes, we have tried our best, Captain. We didn't expect to encounter people from the Shadow Church. They are the Dark Priests. If you hadn't risked your life, I'm afraid even we would have stayed there." The hot female team member carrying a longbow sighed. During this mission, they encountered people from the Shadow Church. Han Qing fought desperately to bring them back. But the dagger man who was also left behind stayed there forever. The lack of team members forced them to consider recruiting new ones. There was a sudden knock on the door. Female team member Yingzi opened the door and saw a familiar face. Little guy, you're here? I heard from the staff that you were looking for us. Is there something wrong?" Han Qing raised his head and smiled tiredly. He was quite impressed by Ye Chen. It is quite rare for a rookie warrior to dare to touch the corpse of a 3rd-level ferocious beast. He even invited the other party to come to the association to find him. But I didn't expect the other party to come so quickly. And this time when they met, he felt that Ye Chen in front of him seemed a little different from the last time. His aura became more steadier, his eyes more restrained, and he had obviously grown a lot. "Captain Han Qing. I came here as soon as I heard you were recruiting new members." Ye Chen smiled and said. "Recruiting new members? Haha, that's true, but going on missions is very dangerous. If I remember correctly, you should have just become a formal warrior not long ago. If you're considering taking on a mission, you might as well take on some 1st-level ferocious beast missions first. It's too dangerous here." Han Qing smiled and shook his head. "Little guy. You're quite brave. When I first became a formal warrior, I was just as clueless as you, but I was quickly slapped in the face by reality. I understand you. Just listen to the captain and get some rest. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future." Team member Gangza came over and patted Ye Chen on the shoulder. Ding! Shadow Gangzi extraction completed. Of course, Ye Chen had no reason to refuse the food that was delivered to his door. And after Gangza patted his shoulder, Ye Chen fell into silence. It seemed that he was thinking about this question, but in fact Ye Chen had already entered the shadow space directly. Shadow Gangzi 100% extraction, select the Environmental Association training ground. In the shadow space, the scene in front of Ye Chen changed. Suddenly, a member of the Wolf Fang squad, Gangzi, appeared in 100% condition, emitting a strong murderous intent. Shadow, official warrior Tsuyoshi. Qi and blood, 96 calories. Cultivation talent, medium. Skills, 18 body tempering techniques, proficient, rock body tempering technique, minor success. Combat skill, level 2 shield stun, proficient. There was no suspense in the battle between the two. In just 10 seconds, Ye Chen ended the battle. The combat power that Ye Chen can currently unleash can easily exceed 1,000, and Gangzi, his combat power is also about the same level. But unfortunately, Ye Chen's medium sharp gold and medium fire elements almost completely restrain his various tank-type warriors. There is also a bug-level ability in the mental thrust. Ding! You have maxed out the Wolf Fang team member Gangzi at 100% status. Ding! 4.5 HP dropped, automatically fused, current HP 39.9 HP. Ding! A medium-level cultivation talent is dropped, automatically fused. The 18 body tempering techniques and the rock body tempering technique are dropped and automatically fused. Ding! Your rock body building technique has been upgraded to the Great Mastery realm, gaining the hidden trait, Willpower plus 10. Ding! You have acquired the combat skill, Shield Stun, proficient. Plus 10 willpower, effect, increased resistance to various negative effects such as dizziness, coma, and hallucinations. A voice like the sound of nature rang out. Ye Chen instantly felt a surge of warmth flowing into his body. I didn't expect to get such a pleasant surprise. Qi and blood have been raised to 40-calorie level. The rock-hardening bodybuilding technique at the great perfection level. He actually gained a hidden attribute, plus 10 willpower, which can increase his resistance to negative effects. It's pretty good, much better than the previous bone structure. After all, this is the great success realm, not the perfect realm yet. As for the combat skill shield attack, I can only say that it is always better to have more skills. By the later stage, Ye Chen will definitely be proficient in all kinds of martial arts. The 10 seconds of silence also made Han Qing and female team member Yingzi think that Ye Chen had retreated naturally. Open your eyes. Ye Chen's eyes flashed with excitement, and he had to thank brother Gangzi very much. The rock body tempering technique is at the minor success level. As the main tank, I'm afraid he doesn't know how much effort he has put into it. Now all of these are given to myself. Brother Gangzi is a good person. I think I should be able to meet the standards. Ye Chen shook his head. He had thought about it and it would take some time to prepare for the martial arts exam. But for me, hunting ferocious beasts is definitely the fastest and most convenient way to grow. Because the shadows that can be extracted from the school are very limited, ordinary people have no talent at all. On the contrary, the talents of these ferocious beasts are a great tonic for me. The higher the level of the beast, the stronger its talent is, but as a newcomer, I cannot get high-level orders. So, the best thing is to join an old team and then play the advanced version. The Wolf Fang team, with whom he had met once, was naturally his best choice. At least I had met Han Qing and others before, so they were probably trustworthy. Ha 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 ha. What an interesting little guy. Every newcomer who has just become a formal warrior is full of energy. Yingzi, come and teach him, little guy. If you can touch the corner of Yingzi's clothes, then I will allow you to join. Han Qing smiled and said. The female team member carrying a longbow walked forward and made a hook gesture towards Ye Chen. Little guy, the world outside is much more dangerous than what you see in school. The captain is doing this for your own good. My speed isn't that fast, but those beasts are much faster than me. Come on, as long as you can touch the corner of my clothes. Yingzi said with a smile. But before she finished her words, her pupils suddenly dilated and the smile froze on her face. In field of vision, Ye Chen actually disappeared right on the spot. So fast. It was only at this moment that she reacted, only to see Ye Chen had arrived in front of her, and one of his hands had already grabbed her palm. The boy's hands were as smooth as jade, and there was a somewhat immature smile on his handsome face. I think I did it, Captain Han Qing. Ye Chen smiled and said. Ding! Shadow Spike Fang Squad Shadow Extraction successful. Shadow Spike Squad Shadow 100% Extraction, select Scene Association Training Ground. In the shadow space, Ye Chen and the team member named Yingzi appeared again. But this time, the other party was extremely hostile, 100% hostile. Shadow, Yingzi. Qi and blood, 92 calories. Cultivation talent, medium. Skills, 18 body tempering techniques, proficient, rock body tempering technique, proficient. Combat skills, level 2 precision shooting, proficient, level 2 arrow rain, proficient. The opponent took out a handful of arrows directly from the quiver and launched a rain of arrows. But Ye Chen's attack speed is faster. Mental thrust. An invisible spiral spirit broke through the air. There was no sound. The other party could feel the danger getting closer and closer, but when he wanted to dodge, it was already too late. The psychic's attack was so sudden that it caught people off guard. Swish, swish, swish. Before Yingzi's attack landed, she had turned into a stone sculpture, standing there blankly. Then he lay down with blood oozing from the corner of his mouth. This is a 9th level warrior, much more powerful than an old silver coin like He Guangzheng. But even so, there is no way to defend. Certainly. Maybe in reality Yingzi would be much more alert, but it doesn't matter, the advantage is on Ye Chen. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out the Wolf Fang Squad Yingzi. Ding, 4 HP cards dropped, medium cultivation talent dropped. Ding. Martial arts dropped. Combat skills dropped. Automatically merged. A series of sounds rang out. Chi and blood broke through to 43.9 calories. A true 4th level official warrior. The cultivation talent has been upgraded to super, 9.1%, and the medium talent no longer provides much experience points compared to the super talent. It is difficult to improve upon the body tempering style after it reaches perfection. The rock bodybuilding technique gained some experience points. However, the accurate shooting skill he had before was actually directly upgraded to the minor success level this time, and he also received the opponent's rain of arrows. This efficiency is exaggerated. Mental thrust. It's really a bit exaggerated. Even though he has just stepped into the 1st level mentalist, Ye Chen feels that even a 9th level formal warrior would find it difficult to deal with it. The spirit is invisible. It is not visible to the naked eye at all. Once hit, the battle is basically over. It also only took a few seconds. Yingzi was defeated by Ye Chen in seconds. So comfortable. It turns out that only by being with these strong people can one improve oneself in the best way. Now my pure chi and blood attributes are even more exaggerated than Eunuch Wei, who has been practicing for a lifetime. If Ye Chen's exaggerated attribute panel were exposed, it would definitely cause a sensation around the world. You. Yingzi looked at Ye Chen in front of her in astonishment, seemingly still unresponsive. It's not just her. Including the Captain Han Qing and team member Gangzi who were standing not far away, both of them looked confused at the moment. So fast. This speed is even faster than Yingzi. Little guy, are you a gifted warrior? Han Qing reacted, his eyes shining with surprise. What is a gifted warrior? Ye Chen made a confused expression. Han Qing quickly explained to Ye Chen what the so-called gifted warriors were. Attribute warriors are also a type of talent, but talented warriors include more. Naturally, it includes speed talent, Han Qing's shooting talent, and so on. Elemental warriors certainly have the most significant effects, but gifted warriors are also rare. I will be faster. Ye Chen explained. If I have to say it, I can certainly be said to be a talented warrior. Judging from the speed just now, I'm afraid that he has awakened at least to the upper elementary level. Han Qing said excitedly. You're right, double speed is indeed the case. However, strength talents and shadow talents can also speed up the process in disguise. Captain Han Qing, can I join your team? Ye Chen is harmless. Of course. But there's one thing I haven't told you. We're not just an ordinary warrior team. We're actually part of the city security team here. Han Qing was filled with emotion and explained. City Security Squad. Generally, it is a team responsible for maintaining public order in each city. No wonder I saw them chasing a 3rd-level beast. So that's why. In fact, it is equivalent to the contract-based urban management, but the power is much greater than that of the urban management in the previous life, and the entry threshold is also very high. However, Ye Chen's outstanding performance just now has naturally won the recognition of several people. There are very few talented warriors on the market. Once a warrior awakens his talent, he will soon be recruited by large forces or other aristocratic families. There are relatively few new people in an organization that can flow freely, so it can be said that there are many treasures. Because if any warrior team has a sufficient number of talented warriors, their chances of survival will be greatly improved. The most important reason why the Wolf Fang team was able to survive despite encountering great danger during this mission was because their captain Han Qing was a gifted warrior. He burst out with strength far beyond that of other warriors at the same level. If Ye Chen joins, it will definitely be a great help to their team. City Security Squad. Ye Chen was a little surprised. Yes, in fact, we not only accept tasks from the association, but also deal with some dangerous things that occur in the city. Normally, joining us requires multiple assessments. Member Gangzi explained. But you're different. Talented warriors are rare, especially those with the gift of speed. What are you good at? Han Qing smiled and said. I'm more proficient in swordsmanship, and I also have some knowledge of other weapons, such as archery and spearmanship. Ye Chen said seriously. A little understanding. The female team member Yingzi couldn't help laughing when she heard this. This boy really likes to brag. Do you have some knowledge of swordsmanship, spearmanship, and archery? A novice formal warrior? How about a demonstration in the training room? Don't brag, kid. Even though we've agreed to let you join our team, we also want to have a clear understanding of your abilities. Female team member Yingzi said with a smile. Certainly. Ye Chen naturally didn't mind. Several people entered the training room. 10 minutes later, Ye Chen walked out with a natural look, but Han Qing, Gangzi, and Yingzi were stunned. Looking at Ye Chen's expression was like looking at a monster. I know a little bit about archery. Indeed, his specialty was the 7 stars archery technique, and he even used arrows to shoot arrows, sniping down all of Yingzi's rain of arrows. I know a little bit about knife skills. Gangzi, who was holding a shield, was hacked back step by step and had no chance to fight back even after hiding in the corner. I know a little about shooting. This is true, at least. Captain Han Qing's pistol skills can suppress Ye Chen, but Ye Chen's spear skills are also very powerful. Monster. This guy is such a FG monster. Brother Ye Chen. From now on, you are a member of our Wolf Fang team. Welcome. Han Qing extended his hand enthusiastically and praised from the bottom of his heart. Captain, please take good care of me in the future. Ye Chen smiled and the two shook hands. Ding! Shadow Wolf Fang Squad Captain Han Qing extracted successfully. After leaving the Warrior Association, Ye Chen suddenly had an object in his hand. The badge of the city security team is equivalent to directly stepping into the ranks of the national system. But this also means having powers that ordinary people do not have. Thinking about the goals I once thought were unattainable, but now they are within reach, this is all the change that comes with strength. Ye Chen felt emotional. Without this kind of strength, it would not be easy to join the Wolf Fang Squad. As the sky darkened, the afterglow of sunset fell on the streets. Everything around it was rendered in pale gold. The driver turned out to be an old acquaintance, the chatterbox who had previously taken Ye Chen to the Hongyi Martial Arts School. Little brother, it's you again. Have you signed up for the last training at the Red Leaf Martial Arts School? I heard the prices have gone up recently. If you had listened to me last time, you could have saved a lot of money. The driver kept on muttering. He also complained to Ye Chen about the recent poor security in the city, and the recent chain car accident in which he was the first witness. Ye Chen didn't continue to chat with this guy. The more he chatted, the more he would talk. Now he just sits in his seat with his eyes closed. Ding! 10% extraction of Shadow Wolf Fang Squad Captain Han Qing has been successful. Target scene selected, Association Training Ground. Shadow, Han Qing. Qi and Blood, 237 calories. Cultivation Talent, Medium. Marksmanship Talent, Elementary. Skills, Body Tempering Style, Minor Success, Rock Body Tempering Technique, Minor Success. Combat Skills, Level 3 Panlong Spear, Minor Success, Level 1 Mizu Step, Great Success, Level 1 Healing, Proficient. The attributes of this Wolf Fang team captain are really exaggerated. Although his own talent is not that great. But being able to practice all the body tempering techniques to the minor success level, and also to achieve major success in body movement skills is truly astonishing. Even if it's only 10% of Shadow's combat power, it's comparable to Gangzi and Shadow. He is also a strong man who can fight against opponents of higher levels. But in front of Ye Chen who is in full condition, it is naturally not enough. 3 minutes. Brush off. Ding. Congratulations on maxing out 10% of Shadow Han Qing. Congratulations on dropping HP plus 2. It didn't drop into anything else, it just increased some Qi and blood. But for Ye Chen, this is the best result. Plus 2 HP. After absorption, the whole body feels warm. This effect of increasing Qi and blood is simply cheating. Keep brushing. Ye Chen, who was sitting in the back row, focused on painting the shadows. With nearly 50 calories of Qi and blood, he is now a genuine mid-level warrior. And the combat power he unleashes is definitely not inferior to that of an elite warrior. Finally, when it reached 40%. Ding! Congratulations on maxing out 40% of Shadow Han Qing. Drop the first level of Mysterious Step, Great Mastery. Drop level 1 Healing, Proficient. Automatic Fusion. Congratulations, your first level Agility has been upgraded to the Perfect realm, gaining the hidden attribute, plus 10 dodge. A voice like the sound of nature rang out. Ye Chen only felt a tingling sensation all over his body. Every cell seemed to have achieved a breakthrough. The mysterious steps of perfection. Although it is only a first-level body technique, it is also a real body technique, just like the most common long fist. When it is practiced to the perfect level, it also obtains hidden attributes. Plus 10 dodge. It was actually a dodge, and it increased directly by 10. It seems that the path I will eventually take is to precipitate all my skills to perfection or even a higher level. This will make the pure hidden attribute increase extremely terrifying. Suddenly, the harsh sound of brakes interrupted Ye Chen's monster farming. He retreated from the shadow space. At this time, there seemed to be a car accident ahead on the road, and two cars collided with each other. The trunk of the car that was rear-ended even started to emit thick smoke. The overturned and lying vehicles blocked the road. Damn! What bad luck! What happened today? There's another car accident here? Wow! Is that right? There's a car accident here. What's the address? Here. The driver immediately took out his cell phone to call the police. He glanced at the two cars and saw that there seemed to be no movement, so he honked the horn loudly. Beep beep beep. But the car had clearly crashed and no one got out. Maybe they had fainted? But in this situation, the driver did not dare to get off the car rashly and could only drive closer and turn. Calling the police for them myself is already the most I can do. If I try to be a Lei Feng and rescue them, the risk would be too great. I have elderly parents and young children to support, and I cannot afford this kind of risk. Hey, hey, hey! Come out quickly! Your car is smoking. It's going to explode. The driver drove closer, opened the window and shouted loudly. He was shocked to see that there were several pairs of scarlet eyes staring at him from the two cars that collided with each other. Grass! He shuddered all over and just had time to scream when he suddenly heard the sound of shattering glass. A man covered in blood actually smashed the glass, then landed on all fours and jumped 4 or 5 meters away. Suddenly, he leaned against the taxi window. The heavy force caused the entire car to tilt. The man was still wearing a blood-stained shirt and suit, but his expression looked like that of a hairy monster. Clang, crack! The car window shattered, and the driver could only smell the fishy wind blowing in his face. The guy covered in blood even had some internal organs in his hands grabbing at him. Hiss! A flickering knife light flashed by. Smelly blood splattered. The hairy monster's hand was actually cut off by Ye Chen with one knife. Shadow can be extracted. Shadow infected. Qi and blood, 1.2 calories. Talent, none. Others, none. Description: humans infected with a parasite, manic and dangerous. Shadow parasite dark goo. Qi and blood, 0.1. Telekinesis, 1.1 Hz. Talent, none. Skill, mental parasite. What surprised Ye Chen was, this monster actually has 2 information hints that can be extracted. At the moment when the blade cuts off the opponent's hand, the information shadows can be extracted actually appeared. You can actually use your own weapon to touch it without direct contact? No, it's the so-called dark goo that can be extracted. Is it because of telekinesis? Ye Chen was surprised, but his speed did not slow down at all. Just choose to extract. Shadow dark goo extracted successfully. The infected monster roared in pain and tried to attack Ye Chen. But the knife flashed. The guy was split into 2 halves. Dong! But suddenly there was a loud noise from the roof, followed by 2 clicks. 2 sharp steel bars pierced straight through. Ye Chen dodged it narrowly, and before the opponent could attack again, the long sword pierced through. On the roof of the car, a hairy monster was pierced from the jaw to the head, deader than dead. This was like stirring up a hornet's nest, and 7 or 8 of these hairy monsters quickly rushed out from the vehicle in the accident in front. "You go first, uncle, leave this to me." Ye Chen got out of the car and closed the door. "Huh? Little brother? You, hold on a little while, I'll call the police." The talkative driver stepped on the gas and rushed away. Not long after he left, Ye Chen's eyes froze slightly, and he stared at the pitch-black place not far away with an expression of surprise and doubt. Shadow extractable. Shadow Luo Bingli. Cultivation talent, super. Elemental talent, ice element superior. Superb. Top-notch ice element. Is this really a talent from South City? Ye Chen was stunned. The other person was standing in the darkness, just walking slowly towards the direction where he was looking. No. It's coming towards these infected people. A light blue blade, slightly longer than the standard long sword worn by formal warriors, sliced through the dark night. Dragged beautiful light trails in the air. The temperature of the air dropped and it seemed as if ice and snow were condensing. Just a flash. It was like blue lightning flashing through the 7 or 8 hairy monsters. She had a blue long sword, a very plump figure, and rare long silver hair dancing in the wind, even small ice chips were scattered in the air. Under the high-slit cheongsam is a white silk long skirt, and the most eye-catching thing is the pair of absolutely majestic K-cup breasts. The woman and Ye Chen passed by each other, and there was a faint fragrance, very strange. The other party seemed to glance at Ye Chen. Very beautiful eyes, with a circle of strange blue pupils, very rare. But it disappeared from the spot in just a moment, as if it had never appeared. The movements are as fast as a ghost. So much so that Ye Chen didn't even see the attribute plate on the other person clearly. He had no intention of reaching out and touching the other person, because Ye Chen understood everything very clearly at this moment. If you dare to stretch out your hand, you might get chopped off. The gap is too big. That woman is far superior to me. Click, click, click. Just after the woman left, the infected people who tried to rush over like wild beasts suddenly stayed where they were, as if they were petrified. Their bodies were covered with a layer of white frost. Then, neck, torso, heart, cracks appeared one after another. 7 or 8 monsters were all turned into pieces of meat and fell to the ground. The cut, smooth as a mirror. It was as if it had been rehearsed. Ye Chen was stunned. Is this the gap between those truly terrifying strong people and myself? Luo Bingli? Why haven't I heard of this person's name in the South City Warrior Association? A woman with a K-cup of thunder? Reputation plus 20. No? Did she notice me just now? Ye Chen couldn't feel happy at the moment. He took a deep breath as he watched the woman leave. This woman's strength is absolutely exaggerated. The reputation has been added too much, and the two parties just glanced at each other and the contact was not deep. To have such a high reputation means that the other party's strength is definitely terrifying. If he's a good person, it's fine. If not, then I am definitely in great danger. Let's leave this place. Ye Chen did not linger any longer, put away his sword and left quickly. Originally, he thought that his current strength was already very good. But after meeting this white-haired woman, he suddenly realized that his past knowledge was too narrow. I have never come into contact with the truly strong people in this world. If this woman's attack just now was directed at me, I would definitely not survive more than 3 seconds. The gap is too big. He is even much stronger than Captain Han Qing whom he had met. Still an elemental warrior. Ice talent. This is a higher level elemental talent that is even more exaggerated than the water talent. Elemental warriors are also divided into different levels, such as the lower elements, water and fire. The corresponding higher level elements are ice, lava, etc. Even if they are primary water elements and primary ice elements of the same level, the ice element is superior. It seems that I have a long way to go. When I got home, my parents and younger sister were already asleep. During this time, they also understood that they were about to take the martial arts exam, so they did not interfere too much, but just left food on the table. Ye Chen didn't disturb them and went straight into his bedroom. Shadow Dark Goo Extraction, 100% status, normal street environment. In the shadow space, what appeared in front of Ye Chen was a thing similar to a black caterpillar. It was as thick as a thumb, but its body was covered with strange hair like that of a hairy monster. And as soon as the battle started, this guy suddenly bounced on the ground and shot towards him like a bullet. And in mid-air, buzz! The mental fluctuations spread rapidly to a level that was imperceptible to the naked eye. Ye Chen. He was unaffected but was surprised to find that the object seemed to have disappeared from his sight. But he could clearly see it coming towards his head in his spiritual perception. Mental thrust. Bang! It was like stepping on a caterpillar. A black object exploded in mid-air, spilling some smelly liquid. Ding! You've maxed out your dark goo. Ding! Telekinesis plus 0.1 Hz dropped, automatically absorbed and fused. A voice like the sound of nature rang out. Ye Chen was surprised to find that a cold feeling flooded into his mind. Surprisingly, this thing can actually directly increase my mental power? And even if someone's mental power is lower than mine, it can still be dropped. The 0.1 Hz increase in telekinesis made him feel that his control over telekinesis had improved significantly. Although the increase is not significant, this thing is really easy to hunt. If I had taken care of the remaining 7 or 8 corpses before, wouldn't my telekinesis be able to increase to around 5 Hz? Thinking of this, Ye Chen felt a little regretful. It seemed that he must not miss such a good thing next time. Keep killing monsters. Now both positions in the shadow space are full, one is Han Qing and the other is the iron-feathered demon eagle, and they can't stay any longer. Ding! You have selected the 50% shadow Han Qing, and the selected area is the South City Martial Arts Association. In the shadow space, Ye Chen went straight into the battle. Ye Chen didn't dare to hold back when dealing with Han Qing, so he just went straight up and attacked. 50% of Han Qing has about 130 calories of qi and blood. The explosive combat power reached about 500. This is definitely quite amazing among ordinary elite warriors, but the opponent he faces is a freak who can already exert a combat power of thousands. Full status and full open. Just take it. Drops body tempering style, minor success, drops HP plus 2. Challenge 60%. Get it. Challenge 70%. Even when Ye Chen was at full strength and at 80%, he still couldn't win. The minor success level 3rd level spearmanship is truly amazing, much more powerful than He Guangzhen's 2nd level formation breaking spear. Han Qing can release his energy. It creates a slashing effect, with gun shadows like a forest, and every strike is as shocking as a bomb. But many times these attacks were avoided by Ye Chen. 1st level mysterious steps, perfect level. Plus 10 dodge. With the addition of double elementary speed, there is not much lag in speed. It seems I still need to use the power of a psychic. Ye Chen originally wanted to test the limit of his combat power. It seems that he is probably at the level of a 2nd level elite warrior, that is, 200 cards of qi and blood, and about 2000 combat power. But after using the mental stab, the situation on the battlefield was reversed. Ye Chen defeated Han Qing repeatedly, but was in danger when he was dealing with 100% at the end. But in the end it was perfect. Ding! Congratulations on reaching 100% of the elite warrior Han Qing shadow. Ding! Drop! Ding! Congratulations on dropping HP plus 9. Ding! Congratulations on dropping a medium cultivation talent. Automatic fusion. Ding! Congratulations on dropping the gun skill talent, elementary. You also dropped the level 3 Panlong gun skill, minor success. Automatically absorbed and fused. Drops body tempering style, drops stone body tempering technique. A voice like the sound of nature rang in Ye Chen's mind. An extremely familiar feeling, a warm current surged in my body. This is the effect of the fusion of qi and blood. Plus 9 HP. This is indeed a bit exaggerated, but it is worthy of Han Qing's status as an elite warrior. The higher the drop in health value, the more difficult it is to drop the value. But compared to ordinary people, improving through practice and taking qi and blood pills and yuan li pills is already a cheat. A large amount of memories and information about Han Qing's practice of spearmanship emerged in his mind. The third-level Panlong spear technique is more powerful than the second-level Pach Hen spear. And this is a spearmanship at the elite warrior level, which can release energy. Performs long-range attacks with amazing effects. Ye Chen's attribute panel has been completely revamped. Qi and blood, 54.9 calories. Cultivation talent, super 13%. Marksmanship talent, elementary. The talent for gun skills, like the talent for sword skills, belongs to the category of weapon talent. When this type of weapon is used alone, it can cause extra damage and provide more opportunities for enlightenment. So strong. My most effective attack is still my swordsmanship, but if I were to say which one has the highest chance of survival on the battlefield, it would probably be my spearmanship. Ye Chen was filled with emotion. The gun is the king of all weapons, and this is not said in vain. On the battlefield, an inch longer is an inch stronger. The gun is a real weapon of war. Ye Chen can be used, but it cannot be absent. Anyway, it's always good to have more skills, guns are just inconvenient to carry. Ye Chen, who had swept Han Qing, was in a very good mood at the moment. I looked at the time and found that it was already dawn without me noticing. But I didn't feel tired at all. The improvement of qi and blood will make the warrior's mental power far exceed that of ordinary people. What's more, Ye Chen is also a spiritualist and is quite outstanding in terms of energy. I lost everything, I lost everything. The cell phone on the desk rang. Ye Chen picked it up and took a look. It turned out to be his good friend Zhang Qiang calling. Chenzi. Hurry up and get up. What are you doing? Have you forgotten what an important day today is? What day? It's the day when Senior Lu Simon comes to school. Brother, I have to go first, otherwise I won't be able to get a good seat. It's in the school auditorium, remember? Zhang Qiang called out a few times, hung up the phone, and left excitedly. He is indeed a guy who values women over friends. Lu Simon? If I remember correctly, she should be the outstanding alumnus that Eunuch Wei mentioned. At that time, it achieved record-breaking results and ranked first in the entire province. He even went to a top martial arts academy and is now a senior. It can be said to be a true achievement. Genius Senior Lu Simon? Genius is the best. I was worried I wasn't a genius. Ye Chen packed up casually and then hurried downstairs. He still has a shadow bar on his current system panel. Good for nothing brother, come on. The martial arts exam is coming up, don't be the last one again. Ye Xiaowu couldn't help but give instructions from behind. Ye Chen rolled his eyes at her. Nanchang No. 4 Middle School. Auditorium. All the senior high school students in the school have arrived, not only those taking the martial arts exam, but also those taking the liberal arts exam. Here, here. Chenzi. There's a spot here. Come quickly. Zhang Qiang greeted excitedly from a distance. He sat in the back row, but there was an empty seat in the second row of the class, and one of the seats was occupied by Lu Lingxiu. Eunuch Wei was motioning towards Ye Chen. Ye Chen, you and Lu Lingxiu are the student representatives of our class this time. You will represent our class to interact with alumnus Lu Simon. We must seize the opportunity. Alumni Lu Simon is an elite warrior. Her strength is stronger than that of us teachers. Maybe a few pointers from me can help you get better results in the martial arts exam. The head teacher, Lao Wei, patted Ye Chen on the shoulder. Obviously, he is now very hopeful for Ye Chen. After all, being able to achieve results second only to Lu Lingxiu in the previous class, he is definitely a good seedling. Zhang Qiang, who was sitting in the back row, was also envious. Have you thought about the problem? Lu Lingxiu suddenly tilted her head and asked curiously. Do you have one? How about I ask one more for you? Ye Chen smiled. That's not necessary. I heard that senior sister Lu Simon was the top student in South City and ranked among the top students in the province. She's also doing very well at Magic City University. Lu Lingxiu was filled with emotion. If someone can achieve what Lu Simon has, it can basically be considered as returning home in glory. Elite warrior. There is not much difference between them and the top 2 leaders in the school. Yeah, okay. Ye Chen nodded, looking forward to Lu Simon. He is a genius. And I like making friends with geniuses the most. Being able to get the top spot in Nanjing and rank in the top 10 in the province is absolutely dazzling. Because Nanjing is considered an educationally weak province in the entire province. It can be said that Lu Simon's talent must be amazing, and he has put in a lot of effort. It seems that I need to find an opportunity to meet this legendary senior. Lu Lingxiu looked at Ye Chen and seemed a little absent-minded. She felt like Ye Chen was a different person today. Wrong. If she could still understand Ye Chen a few days ago, but now. The other party's aura was like a deep abyss and a towering mountain, feeling unfathomable. My talent is definitely not inferior to his, right? I've been working very hard these days, so why do I still feel like I can't keep up? Oh my god! Here she comes, Chenzi. Goddess Lu. Senior Lu Simon is here. Look! Zhang Qiang in the back row was screaming with excitement. It's not just him. The whole scene was boiling. The spotlight in the auditorium quickly shone over. Suddenly, I saw a figure walking slowly towards me from the right side, surrounded by school leaders. She was wearing a black long dress and had a tall and elegant figure. But the most eye-catching thing is the pair of quite amazing big thunders. It's hard to imagine that as an elite warrior, she would have such a huge burden. How does she fight? The long black straight hair reaches the waist, matching her slender waist. Bright eyes, white teeth, and snow-white skin. Those little cherry lips make the whole face more charming. If Lu Lingxiu is a bud about to bloom, then Lu Simon in front of him is definitely the peony in full bloom. Graceful and gorgeous. It also looks like a ripe peach, exuding a long-awaited scent. Wherever her eyes go. In an instant, the entire venue was filled with gasps and the sound of people swallowing. But the moment I saw her, Ye Chen froze, his pupils suddenly constricted, and all the hairs on his body stood up. So big! Holy crap! That's over the limit. This senior sister Lu Simon is such a goddess. I'd be willing to shorten my life by 10 years if she could be my girlfriend. I'm willing to give it 50 years. I can hang up right now. This is so FG crazy. I've never seen anything so crazy in my life. I don't know who will get the benefit in the future. In an instant, the entire auditorium was in uproar. The students were screaming with excitement. Even the girls were amazed, and even the teachers and leaders of the school had amazement in their eyes. Lu Lingxiu just stayed where she was. Compared with Lu Simon, she seemed to become dull and dim all of a sudden. The two women's temperaments are completely different. Lu Lingxiu is a beautiful and pure school girl. However, Lu Simon looks like a graceful lady, yet she also has a mature aura of a queen next door, which makes people imagine a lot. Just as these students were gasping and swallowing their saliva, Ye Chen's heart was pounding. There was even a brief moment of unconsciousness. Seeing this scene, Lu Lingxiu's beautiful eyes dimmed a little. She pursed her lips and glanced at her chest again. Suddenly I felt inferior. It's her! Ye Chen exclaimed in his heart. I have definitely seen this woman before. Almost the moment I saw it, I suddenly recalled the strange woman I met at the car accident scene last night. It was just that the other party's pair of KS were too dazzling and the impression was too deep that I could never forget them. But the Lu Simon in front of him was completely different from the strange woman he met last night. The two have very similar figures. They are both incredibly cumbersome, but the difference is, yesterday the woman was wearing white silk, not the black dress she wore today. And the woman yesterday was called Luo Bingli. She had long silver white hair, which was very rare, so Ye Chen remembered her after just one glance at her yesterday. What's more, the opponent is super talented. Top grade ice element. But the Lu Simon in front of me. Same body shape, but black hair. In this world, is there a power that can change hair color? Shadow Lu Simon extractable. Elemental talent, superior water element. Cultivation talent, superior. Soul talent, medium. Qi and blood, 288 calories. Her talent is not as good as Luo Bingli's yesterday. Etc. Soul talent? Ye Chen widened his eyes and stared at Lu Simon's attribute panel. It was the first time he had seen this peculiar talent. An idea gradually took shape in his mind. Several school leaders took the stage to give speeches and explained Lu Simon's current level of ability. Level 2 Elite Warrior. It's not as exaggerated as the level 8 that Lao Wei boasted about, but this result is considered to be outstanding among all the students in Shanghai University. Lu Simon also recalled every detail of his time at school. When I heard that she had stayed up late to train in the school training hall, all the male students present became excited. Zhang Qiang even said that he would go to the place where senior Lu Simon stayed up late every day to study hard. Learn from predecessors. But from Ye Chen's point of view, this guy and a group of other boys might want to find some traces of Lu Simon and fantasize about it. After Lu Simon recalled the past, he explained to everyone the current situation of warriors, including the specific situation of the martial arts exam, as well as some of the problems encountered by her class and the solutions, and some experiences in spiritual practice. Some things are still very beneficial, but when she mentioned that many students in the outside world would go out for training before the martial arts exam, it also made the students present smack their lips in amazement. Because there are not many students from Nanjing No. 4 Middle School who become reserve warriors, otherwise Huang Xian would not have been so proud at the time. It is obvious that Nanjing is a province with weak education and is relatively weak in this area. Then Lu Simon said that he would lead all the martial arts students in the school to go out for training before the martial arts exam to experience real combat. This news instantly caused cheers from most of the boys in the audience. Part of the reason for the lack of cheering was that they did not take the martial arts exam, only the literary exam. If you want to take part in the martial arts examination, you must at least be a preparatory martial artist, and meet the standards in stance training and qi and blood. Not everyone can do this. Damn it! I can't take it anymore. I have to take more drugs. I have to try to boost my energy and blood a bit so I can show off in front of Senior Lu. Zhang Qiang was very excited. Haha, come on, just dream on about your blood and energy. Elite warriors are powerful beings with blood and energy exceeding 100 calories. Even if we work hard for a lifetime, we may not be able to reach that level. Huang Xian poured a basin of cold water on him. However, he was also very jealous and felt a strong desire in his heart to work harder during this period of time. Then I will try to wash away the shame of being defeated by Ye Chen. This training session is scheduled for tomorrow. All students taking the martial arts exam can participate, but there are not many students in the entire Nanjing No. 4 Middle School who take the supplementary exam. The school leaders and teachers present were also quite excited, and each of them looked eager to try. Next is the question and answer session. Each class teacher has the student representatives prepare. If you have any questions about the martial arts exam, please ask alumnus Lu Simon. The school leader spoke. As the best class in the school, Lu Lingxiu naturally became the first student representative. Wow! It's Goddess Lu Lingxiu. So beautiful. Senior Lu Simon is still pretty. Senior Lu Simon was also the school belle back then. Damn, that Ye Chen guy can actually ask questions. I'm so envious. Many students in the audience couldn't help but sigh. Lu Lingxiu asked questions about cultivation. Lu Simon gave an answer, which was obviously different from what the school teachers taught, and it made people suddenly enlightened. I have to say that when you have a higher level of attainment, you can see things from a bird's eye view. After receiving the answer, Lu Lingxiu fell into deep thought and enlightenment on the spot, and some other students seemed to have gained a lot as well. Student Lu Lingxiu is quite talented. She grasped it so quickly. Lu Simon's beautiful eyes moved as she spoke to the school leader next to her with a smile. Lu Lingxiu is currently the student with the highest overall score in the school. She has always been outstanding and willing to work hard. Alumni Lu hopes that she can give her more guidance when the time comes. The school leader replied quickly. Although the school leaders are also elite warriors, they are obviously not as powerful as geniuses like Lu Simon. Others are just starting out, but I've already reached the peak, or even on the decline. The second one is naturally Ye Chen. Ye Chen just stood up and was about to ask a normal question, but saw Lu Simon looking at him with a smile. Her eyes are black, not blue. Before he could speak, Lu Simon spoke first. Junior, may I ask you a question first? Lu Simon's beautiful eyes flickered as she smiled. Senior Lu, please speak. Junior. Lu Simon suddenly walked down from the platform, put his ear close to his side, and his breath was as sweet as orchid. It made his neck feel a little itchy, and his eyes unconsciously looked towards the other party's pair of big thunders. Do your classmates know that you are so strong? Lu Simon said with a smile, the corner of his mouth raised. Ye Chen was deeply moved when he heard this. This woman. Really? Not only do you remember the other person, but the other person also remembers you. No way, senior sister, I've been hiding for so long, and you found out so quickly? You really have a unique vision. Ye Chen smiled and said bluntly. To deal with such an extremely proactive woman, you have to be more proactive than her, so that you can hold the initiative in your own hands. Otherwise, you will be led by the nose by others. Not to mention, Ye Chen was not willing to miss such a good opportunity. Senior, my microphone seems to be broken. Can I use yours? Is it my turn to ask questions? Ye Chen smiled openly and handed the microphone to Lu Simon. The latter was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect that a high school student in school would not be led by myself. Even deliberately making fun of yourself? Interesting. Very interesting. No wonder this little guy makes me feel so interesting. Of course, I'm very optimistic about you, senior. Lu Simon smiled and exchanged the microphone with Ye Chen. Ye Chen accidentally touched Lu Simon's slender fingers that were as white as jade. I have to say, Lu Simon is a peach, Lu Lingxiu is a rose, each has its own merits. Lu Simon obviously didn't expect that she would be suddenly bumped into by a younger brother who wanted to tease her. The other party even deliberately stayed on her finger for a second. Lu Simon was slightly stunned, but her beautiful eyes became a little excited. Ding! Shadow Lu Simon extracted successfully. A voice like the sound of nature rang out in Zhou Ju's mind. Tisk tisk tisk. As expected, he was willing to sacrifice his life to bring down the emperor. If you don't have such a good opportunity, it would be quite difficult to get in touch with such a strong woman. But now, Ye Chen's mood has never been better. Reputation plus 90. A line of tiny firefly words appeared. It actually increased so much? Ye Chen was surprised. Reputation plus 4. Reputation plus 2. Reputation plus 1. Reputation plus 1. A series of system prompts appeared in the field of vision. Ye Chen was a little surprised. He didn't expect that his reputation, which had been stagnant for a long time, would grow so rapidly at this moment. Reached the level of 321/1000. The one with the biggest increase must be Lu Simon, obviously. My little action just now may have been seen by many classmates. However, the teachers who had their backs to him probably didn't see it, otherwise his fame would have been much more than that. You are very brave, Junior. Lu Simon had a half smile on her face because she found that the microphone Ye Chen handed over was not broken, but intact. Thank you for the compliment, Senior. Ye Chen said calmly. The two of them spoke in a very low voice, so that only each other could hear them. But many students in the auditorium could see Ye Chen and this senior goddess being affectionate with each other. The way they looked at Ye Chen was so green. Holy crap! What's going on with Goddess Lu? She's actually whispering to this guy Ye Chen. Could they have known each other before? Damn, what's so good about this guy Ye Chen? Why are all these women clinging to him? Holy crap! That BD just touched Goddess Liu's hand. That's Senior Sister's beautiful hand. Why does Senior look so happy? There were many ghosts howling and mournful voices in the crowd. A pair of resentful eyes fell on Ye Chen. If eyes could heat, Ye Chen would have melted on the spot. Lu Lingxiu's eyes were also filled with jealousy. She snorted and turned away. Your girlfriend is angry, Junior. Lu Simon teased. It's okay with so many people looking at me, it will be difficult for me to get off the stage. What an interesting little guy. I'm very optimistic about you, Junior. Lu Simon left with a smile. Then Ye Chen asked a question on behalf of the whole class at the suggestion of the school leaders and the head teacher. To put it bluntly, through these so-called question and answer sessions, students can understand the benefits of being admitted to a martial arts academy, etc. Lu Simon was also very cooperative, and after the speech, the enthusiasm of all the students in the auditorium was completely ignited. Especially the boys, they were all screaming with excitement as if they were injected with chicken blood. Even after the meeting, these guys still looked towards Lu Simon reluctantly. Okay, everyone, gather at the school playground at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We will be led by alumnus Lu Simon to experience a real hunt for ferocious beasts. The so-called martial arts is not just about imparting theoretical knowledge in school. One day, everyone will go to the battlefield. A warrior. You must possess a will of steel and a determination to never back down, whether facing difficulties or facing a murderer. Standing behind us are our families and our entire country. May everyone at Hawaii be like a dragon. The school leaders summarized the meeting. The meeting is adjourned. Holy crap! Chinzi, this is so cool. You actually spoke so intimately with the senior goddess. What did she tell you? You don't know her, do you? As soon as the meeting was over, Zhang Qiang ran over excitedly with an envious expression on his face. Huang Xian and some other classmates all looked unhappy. I don't know him. Do you know him? Ye Chen rolled his eyes at the guy. Damn! That's awesome! Chinzi, even though Senior Lu is a few years older than us, a woman 3 years her senior is still a treasure. Hurry up and work harder. I think Senior Lu seems to be very interested in you. If you can get this senior, I'll call you daddy from now on. Zhang Qiang looked like he had been injected with pig blood. Get lost! Ye Chen was too lazy to pay attention to this guy and cursed with a smile. The two went to the school's bicycle shed to pick up their bicycles and went straight home. But the campus beauty of Lu University had already blocked his way. Ahem, Chinzi, 3 women make a big show. You are such a lucky guy. I won't participate anymore. Come on. Hee. Zhang Qiang left with a sly smile, winking at Ye Chen. Ye Chen, during this training, let's compete to see who can kill more ferocious beasts. Lu Lingxiu had a cold face, bit her lip, and said with her beautiful eyes burning. She feels very uncomfortable. I don't know why, but I feel uncomfortable when I see Ye Chen talking to Lu Simon. Okay, don't get me wrong, there's nothing going on between me and Senior Lu. She just asked a question, that's all. Ye Chen sighed and explained. Hearing this, Lu Lingxiu's eyes lit up and a bright look appeared on her pretty face. It's a deal then. Ye Chen. I will definitely catch up with you. Lu Lingxiu left with a puffed-up chest. She understood that the gap between herself and Ye Chen was very huge. So, that's why she wanted to pursue the other person as a target. Ye Chen did not go home, but turned around and went directly to the school library. Anyway, you can enter the shadow space from anywhere. Now both shadow slots are full, so we have to hurry up. There weren't many people in the library after 5 o'clock, but the school is open 24 hours a day. You can come and study anytime you want. Ye Chen picked up a book at random and put it in front of him, then went straight into the shadow space. There are now 2 boss-level shadows. 3rd Order Iron Feathered Demonic Eagle. Elite Warrior Lu Simon. Shadow Lu Simon 10% Extraction. Select the scene of the Magic City Martial Arts Academy dedicated training ground. The scene before my eyes changes. Ye Chen found himself suddenly in the spacious training ground. And the person standing in front of him was K-Cup, Lu Simon. Shadow Lu Simon. Cultivation Talent, Superior. Water Element Talent, Superior. Soul Talent, Medium. Qi and Blood, 288 calories. Skills, 18 Body Tempering Techniques, Perfect, Rock Body Tempering Technique, Minor Success, Level 3 Bone Casting Technique, minor success. Combat Skills, Level 1 Phantom Step, perfect. Level 2 Water Wave Slash, minor success. Level 3 Water Avatar, proficient. Level 3 Water Dragon Technique, minor success. What the hell? When Ye Chen saw the other party's attribute panel, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Because there was too much chaos before, I didn't have time to carefully check the other party's attribute panel. It's really too exaggerated. This senior sister Lu Simon, is she truly a genius? You have to know that only with a system can you hone those skills to perfection. But the other party. Is the talent for top-level cultivation really so exaggerated? No time to think about it. The two men fought. 10% of Lu Simon, which is the level of Qi and HP 30. Isn't this a sure win? Although the opponent's palm panel is quite amazing. It is also possible to fight against opponents of higher levels. But unfortunately Ye Chen is also a pervert. Ye Chen naturally wouldn't be polite. Turn on full power directly. The two sides fought. After Lu Simon's sword appears, he can easily release the water wave slash. This caught Ye Chen off guard. Fortunately, Ye Chen's attributes were even more abnormal, and he killed the opponent with one sword. The blade burning with fire energy pierced Lu Simon. I'm sorry, senpai. Ye Chen sighed. Puff. Lu Simon actually turned into a handful of water and exploded. Water clone. Not bad. But Ye Chen, who was able to check the other party's panel, was naturally prepared. He easily avoided the opponent's sneak attack and fell down again. Lu Simon's head flew high. I can't die anymore. Really? Finish. I don't know what the senior sister will reveal to me. Ye Chen was slightly surprised because the system prompt sound had not yet sounded. Click, click, click. Phew. Ye Chen stood there in a daze, staring at his frozen feet in astonishment. Then a frost-white blade pierced his heart. The frost was spreading rapidly along his body, and all the blood in his body seemed to be frozen. Ye Chen turned around in astonishment. At the place where Lu Simon died, a frosty white figure appeared. So familiar. White stockings and long legs. Long silver hair. The azure frost-white blade in his hand drew a perfect arc in the air. A fatal blow. You are dead, 1% of your HP will be deducted, minus 0.55 calories. The system prompt sounded. Ye Chen stood there blankly. I looked at the figure that suddenly appeared after Lu Simon's death in shock. It was her. Shadow Luo Bingli. Qi and blood, 888 calories. Cultivation talent, super. Ice talent, top. Soul talent, medium. Speed talent, medium. Skill, same as Lu Simon. Combat skills, level 3, Ice Explosion, minor success, level 3, Ice Clone, minor success, level 3, Ice Sealing Slash, great success. Special, Soul Reincarnation, when the outer personality dies, the inner personality will take control of the body. Gorgeous. Exaggerate. Ye Chen swore that this was definitely the most terrifying attribute panel he had ever seen, even more exaggerated than his own. So weird. I see. Lu Simon and Luo Bingli are actually the same person, or rather, they are two souls in one body with two personalities. No wonder Lu Simon just died, but his inner personality was directly activated. I thank you. Luo Bingli's energy and blood have actually reached the terrifying level of 888. It's already infinitely close to the next level. The martial arts master after the elite warrior. A martial arts master with a blood and qi exceeding 1,000 and a lifespan exceeding 100 years. Oh shit! My death was not unjust. Vomiting blood. Originally, he was planning to use up all the energy of his senior sister, after all, she only had 288 cards of health. But I just discovered it now. This senior sister has 2 lives. Even more perverted than the iron-feathered demon eagle. This time, he even lost 0.55 calories of energy. Have no choice. Ye Chen had no choice but to adjust his monster-killing direction. Now we've really taken a big step and have hurt ourselves. The 2 bosses live in my shadow column. If I don't kill these two mountains, I will be dead. But the last time I fought the iron-feathered demon eagle, the psychic master profession had not yet been awakened. This time, Shadow Iron-Feather Demon Eagle, 50% status, city. Start brushing. Changes in vision. Ye Chen can only choose to attack the small boss first. The perverted iron-feathered demon eagle has more than 500 calories of chi and blood. Even if it's only half, there are still more than 200 cards. Combined with its talent, the burst of combat power exceeds 3000. Ye Chen's current combat power limit is probably over 2000, not including the level of a spiritualist. But the outcome of a battle is often not based on combat power as an absolute reference. Ye Chen chose to let the iron-feathered demonic eagle descend upon the city, and he even specially changed into a longbow and a spear. Now he has also gained the blessing of gun skills and archery skills. Choose close combat after a meal. Now he has defeated the Wolf Fang team and can be said to be more powerful than Han Qing. Of course, it's always more convenient for one person to cooperate with several people. But combined with a mental thrust attack, 50% of the iron-feathered demon eagles were directly destroyed. Drop HP plus 7 cards. Challenge 60%. Drop combat skill, cry. Cool. Sweep it up. Challenge 70%. Keep on blowing up. Just when Ye Chen was in full swing, busy with the task of killing monsters, he was reading a book when he saw a pretty figure sitting opposite him. The exaggerated K-cup was now smiling, holding her face with one hand, looking at him curiously. It was Lu Simon. Ye Chen, who was killing monsters, naturally would not ignore the situation around him. He was just taking a nap. And there was suddenly a beautiful woman next to him, and she was looking at him with such curiosity, how could he not care? Senior Lu. Ye Chen opened his eyes, his expression calm. After all, this is a school, and now he has obtained the iron-feathered demonic eagle's cry skill. There is also its own telekinetic thrust. The telekinetic force in the brain slowly rotates, and as long as the opponent makes any unusual movement, it will counterattack immediately. You didn't go home after school and fell asleep in the library? Did you suffer a breakup? Lu Simon said with a smile. The pair of big thunders were slightly deformed by the edge of the library desk. I was just reviewing my lessons, and then I suddenly fell asleep. Reviewing lessons? What kind of lessons are these? Dokang Continent lessons. Well. Okay, it's time to go back. Tomorrow we have some experience. Don't forget, I have high hopes for you, classmate Ye Chen. Lu Simon joked with a smile. Ye Chen then put down the novel he borrowed from the library with a blushing face, picked up his skullbag on the stool, and left the library. Lu Simon watched Ye Chen's back disappear from his sight until he was completely out of sight, then he sighed slowly. You don't want to recruit this little guy into the organization, do you? Suddenly, she seemed like a different person, her voice was cold. Why not? He gives me a very strange feeling. He seems to know me. The voice became gentle again. I also noticed that in that instant just now, he felt hostility towards you. It was very weak, almost fleeting, but it was unmistakable. Said in a cold voice. Interesting. I didn't expect to meet such an interesting little guy when I came back to South City to carry out the mission this time. A gentle voice and a charming smile. Back home. Ye Chen ate a quick meal and went into his bedroom to continue killing monsters. Challenge Iron-Feather Demon Eagle 80% status, location city. In the shadow space. Ye Chen is already a high-level warrior, but the Iron-Feather Demon Eagle is a third-level ferocious beast, comparable to a human elite warrior, and can release its energy. But Ye Chen is no longer the same as before. The effect of the telekinetic thrust was so exaggerated that even the iron-feathered demonic eagle couldn't withstand it. After being hit, this guy started to stagger and look drowsy. Paired with the liming that I just got, Ye Chen emitted visible sound waves and bombarded the iron-feathered demon eagle head-on at close range, causing it to freeze on the spot. Behead. Congratulations on maxing out 80% of the iron-feather magic eagle. Ding. HP dropped +5. Challenge 90%. Until the sky turns pale. In the shadow space. Ye Chen was covered in wounds, his face was as pale as paper, and his body was shaky. There were several sharp feathers stuck in his chest, as if his body had been pierced by arrows, and blood was gushing out. One of his arms was broken, and he looked extremely miserable. Not far away. The iron-feathered demon eagle's body fell to the ground, its eyes bursting, and it died. 100% iron-feathered demonic eagle. Ye Chen died in battle 22 times. The feeling of experiencing death over and over again is simply indescribable. Death in the shadow space also feels like real death. And each time you die, you will lose 1% of your health. He had been pecked to death, clawed to death, stabbed to death by the iron-feathered demon eagle's feathers, and had his cry exploded. It's a textbook example of death. But the growth achieved at the same time is absolutely amazing. Ye Chen's fighting skills have been honed to become more perfect and outstanding. His understanding of combat skills has reached its peak, although he cannot actually improve his combat proficiency in the shadow space. But, the brain will remember the insights gained here very clearly. Both swordsmanship and gunmanship have achieved breakthroughs and enlightenment. However, this breakthrough needs to be integrated and verified in actual combat. The real key to defeating this iron-feathered demon eagle is the telekinetic thrust. Ye Chen has mastered a new method of use in the shadow space, and can control 3 telekinetic thrusts at the same time to attack the opponent from different angles. It can also create the effect of mother-on-child thrusts. The other one is hidden under one of them. The perception of the ferocious beasts that have reached the 3rd level is very strong. They can already sense the existence of telekinesis. But in the face of Ye Chen's micro-manipulation, he still couldn't withstand the result of his brain exploding. Congratulations on reaching 100% Iron Feather Magic Eagle. Drop HP +8, automatically merge. Drop Medium Speed Talent, automatically merge, detect that you have Speed Talent, automatically merge into Double Medium Speed Talent. In an instant, streams of warmth flowed into Ye Chen's limbs and bones. The qi and blood surged. The attribute panel has been directly renovated. Qi and blood, 72.5 calorie. Speed Talent, Double Medium. I feel more powerful than ever before. More than 70 calories of qi and blood have reached the level of a high-level formal warrior. To improve from more than 50 cards to more than 70 cards, even for those talented warriors, it would take at least several months or even years of practice. But, Ye Chen only spent 1 night. And double the medium speed talent. Elementary speed can increase the speed by about 20%, but intermediate speed can increase the speed by 1 times. Double medium, 2 times faster. Once it reaches the upper level, it will increase 7 or 8 times or even more. Double medium speed. Medium sharp gold talent. This is the most valuable talent of this Iron Feather Demon Eagle. Ye Chen felt the power surging in his body. Arch your feet slightly and exert force. Swish. His figure seemed to leave an afterimage and instantly rushed to the wall. The strong wind even made the Joe Kyo poster hanging on the wall rustle. So fast. The speed has increased by nearly 3 times. Try to punch. Recently, it was a simple body tempering punch, but it had already left an afterimage in the air. Triple speed means that for every 1 attack from others, Ye Chen can use 3 attacks. It can even do that if the attack misses, it will just run away. No wonder the attributes of gifted warriors can easily crush ordinary warriors. Amazing! My current strength should be enough to challenge Lu Simon, right? Ye Chen was in a good mood. At the beginning, he was defeated by 10% of senior Lu Simon's shadow, which was really embarrassing. Of course, it's not shameful. After all, the senior sister is too perverted, and there is a super pervert living in her body. Ye Chen has been coveting her for a long time. Daylight began to rise. The lazy voice of the tabby cat Xiao Huang was heard. It lay skillfully on the edge of Ye Chen's window, enjoying the warm morning sunshine. Today is the training day for the team led by the senior student. After a quick wash and a bite to eat, Ye Chen set off directly. But this time he chose to run straight over. Double the speed. Run. Because I got up early, there were only a few people eating breakfast on the street. Was I dazzled just now? Did someone pass by? Is it the wind? Forget it, let's have breakfast. A surprised voice came from behind. Ye Chen had already arrived at the school at full speed, and even passed through the guards without being discovered. Dear students, the martial arts exam is about to begin in half a month. Today we will go out for an adventure under the guidance of classmate Lu. According to alumnus Lu, this training is part of a provincial martial arts exam adjustment, and the final score will account for 30% of the martial arts exam score. We will have dedicated personnel to score your performance during the training. The first place winner will receive a Yuan Li weapon or armor. As soon as the principal's words came out, all the students in the playground became excited. Even the teachers standing nearby showed envy. Oh my god! The college entrance exam has been adjusted? Experience accounts for 30% of the score? Doesn't that mean that if I fail this experience, it will directly affect my college entrance exam score? Isn't training only possible in the martial arts academy? Why is it so difficult this year? It's over, it's over. I've never hunted any ferocious beasts. Help! With my grades, I could have gotten into a key martial arts academy, but now if I deduct 30%, I'll be dropped straight to a third tier 1. Haha, haven't you noticed that the country's requirements for warriors have become increasingly higher in the past 2 years? I've already gone out for training several times. First place is even rewarded with a Yuan Li weapon. This is only for elite warriors. It's worth over $1 million. Yes, even official warriors don't have it. This is absolutely a huge amount. It's much more than the scholarships for admission to Tsinghua University, Peking University, or Imperial Capital Martial Arts Academy. If I had this energy weapon, I would definitely get better scores in the college entrance exams. The whole audience was in an uproar. There were more than 200 martial arts exam candidates in the school, plus the accompanying teachers, so there were 4 buses in total. The vehicle drove steadily towards the outskirts of the South City. This time the direction of travel was north, and it took a full day and night to finally reach the edge of the city. The bus stopped in front of the sentry post, and inside the sentry post there was a soldier with a gun. Even some soldiers could be seen patrolling not far away. All the students who saw this scene were shocked. They didn't expect it to be real. This is the city boundary. I heard that beyond that is the area of ferocious beasts. Isn't this too dangerous? We are just martial arts students. Are you serious? It's over. Lu Simon and school leaders and others produced relevant documents and soon everyone was allowed to pass. And a military jeep followed behind. A man and a woman in the car actually saluted Lu Simon directly and called him Captain Lu. Lu Simon actually already has a military rank and position? This was beyond Ye Chen's expectations. Follow us. We are not responsible if you die in the wrong place. The woman in the jeep snorted coldly, stepped on the accelerator and rushed to the front. Ye Chen glanced at the 2 men. Both were elite warriors with average talent. They did not have any other outstanding talents. Their combat skills only included military fighting techniques, which were second-level martial arts. This actually piqued his interest. But even so, the school leaders who were elite warriors were extremely polite and respectful. Obviously, the military has always been in the first echelon of power in the country. The bus drove around the mountain area for about an hour and finally stopped at a simple camp. On the most conspicuous stone, which was as high as a person, there was a man in camouflage uniform teasing a pug-like creature. The 2 officers walked up to the man, saluted, said something, and then stepped back. Si Meng, when you graduate, you must come to our military region first. After all, you are from South City, so you should keep the wealth within your family. The man greeted with a smile and then introduced himself to everyone. His name is Gao Tianming. He is the chief instructor of the Nanchang Garrison Base and has the rank of major. What surprised Ye Chen was the other party's attribute panel. Shadow extractable Gao Tianming. Shadow, Gao Tianming. Qi and blood, 789 calories. Cultivation talent, superior. Beast taming talent, medium. Earth elemental talent, medium. Disguise talent, elementary. A high-level elite warrior. The pure strength of his chi and blood is close to that of this senior sister Lu Simon's second glorious sister, Luo Bingli. And he actually possesses 3 talents. He truly is a genius. This is the first time I've seen a talent for controlling beasts. This thing. Ye Chen was very surprised. His eyes inadvertently glanced at the silly pug next to the chief instructor, and his pupils shrank. AFG information panel popped up. Shadow level 3 ferocious beast cleft tooth beast can be extracted. Chi and blood, 344 calories. Strength talent, medium. Speed talent, elementary. Damn it. Good, good, good. That's how you play it, right? Chief Instructor Gao Tianming, yes, very much so. It is true that a real person does not reveal his face, and if he reveals his face, he is not a real person. This guy actually possesses a rare talent for controlling ferocious beasts. Maybe, he's just like Kakashi in Naruto. By then, we can get a lot of ferocious beasts to help us. It seems, it's always good to go out for a walk. It is very difficult to meet such a talented and powerful person in South City. Even though the school leaders are elite warriors, their talents are quite mediocre, and they are not even attribute warriors. Lu Simon ignored him. Gao Tianming knew that he was boring and seemed to have gotten used to Lu Simon's attitude. He jumped down with a smile, and the school leaders who led the team saluted him repeatedly when they saw him. Even the vice principal, who is also an elite warrior, is like this. Alright. I won't waste any more time on this nonsense. This is our first college entrance exam experience in Nanshan. I'm sure you all already know how important it is. Our ratings are absolutely fair and impartial, and we will score you based on your performance here. The area ahead is the ferocious beast area. The outermost area is a level 1 ferocious beast, which has 1 to 2 HP and is slightly stronger than an average person. Killing one earns 1 point. Push inward one by one until you reach the core, the second level beast. Everyone should act according to their abilities. If you get injured inside, you can release a signal flare and our people will come to rescue you, but this also means the end of your training assessment. Gao Tianming explained the rules clearly, and then each student was given first aid medicines and flares, and then they were randomly sent in according to the school's previous exam rankings. Lu Lingxiu and Ye Chen were the first batch. Don't forget our agreement. Let's compete to see who can hunt down the second level beast first. Lu Lingxiu made a bet with Ye Chen. Ye Chen. A second level ferocious beast? This is too weak. The other students behind were extremely nervous. Even Huang Xian, who had obtained the Advanced Preparatory Warrior Certificate, was shaking with nervousness. Alas, it seems that the students this time are very bad, much worse than the group from number 1 middle school. Gao Tianming was filled with emotion. Students from Nanshan number 1 middle school, number 2 middle school, and number 3 middle school had already trained here a few days ago, and their results were relatively good. What's the best result? Lu Simon suddenly asked with a smile. 1022 points. A student from number 1 middle school killed a level 2, level 6 beast. If nothing unexpected happens, that student will probably be the top student in South City this time. Gao Tianming sighed. How about we make a bet, Major Gao? Bet. Gao Tianming was confused. How about we bet on a piece of Yuan Li armor? If I lose, I'll join your base after graduation. If you lose, you give me a piece of Yuan Li armor. I bet someone from number 4 middle school can break the record. Haha, are you talking about Lu Lingxiu? Or Ye Chen? Neither of them is enough. Okay, I'll accompany you. It's a deal. Come to South City after graduation. Ha ha ha. Gao Tianming was excited.